Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we are finally live, and today we are going to play Fallout, which I believe is the last game I played. So, first thing I'm going to do is go to my dashboard and make sure it doesn't fuck up any of my shit on the stream. So far, so good. Make sure that the audio is muted. Looks good. Alright, so you're not going to hear that much game audio right now. While we get this loaded up. Alright. So, I'm going to reload the dashboard because I want to see how my stream is pushing. So, it says excellent. I have an excellent feed to Twitch servers. That makes me very happy. I was able to get my condenser microphone and my public twin USB to work with OBS Studio, which was a little tricky at first. I found restarting the OBS software fixed all the crap I was dealing with, but hey, to each their own. So what's different about this episode, the reason I have the game audio so low, is right now you can hear me, but I'm going to mute myself here in a second. And during the gameplay, we are going to listen to Rogue One, that is 1, W-O-N. It's a podcast with Johnny Grasso and a few others, a couple others. So, I apologize for not knowing the others' names, even though they're established podcasters. But Johnny Grasso was made famous via the Making Star Wars, Now This Is Podcasting podcast, thanks to their great skills of doing voices. Other than that, though, I'm going to go ahead and switch over to iTunes, and I am going to restart the podcast, and I'm going to hit play.
Now you will experience the full power of the dark side. He's no good to me dead.
Don't make me destroy you.
We will deal with your rebel friends soon enough.
As long as everybody behaves, this will be quick and painless. At last we will have revenge.
Yo! And welcome to episode 2 of The Grasso Show. I'm your host, Johnny Grasso.
It's not the Grasso Show.
Huh?
This is not the Grasso Show.
I thought
Mike
we
and
talked
Paul's are
about
here too.
Yeah,
It's
man.
not all about you always.
God damn it! I thought we got this last week.
No, I thought we talked afterwards, and we thought that we were gonna capitalize on. All right.
Bro,
fuck
we're
it.
already on iTunes.
All right.
Stitcher.
God. All right, let's start again. Edit that out.
Of course.
Yo! And welcome to episode 2 of Rogue One, a Star Wars podcast for winners. I'm your host, Johnny Grasso, and with me, as always, is Hawes Burkhart
Hello.
and Michael Pappas.
Poodoo!
Welcome to episode 2, everybody. Guys, episode 1, I don't know if you've been reading Twitter and the iTunes reviews, but people like it.
So far, so good.
Yes, thank you, everyone. It was a great first episode, great experience. Again, thank you so much for everyone that supported us on Twitter, on Facebook, retweeted, subscribed, wrote reviews. We appreciate it all. And in keeping with who the fuck I am, I have also noticed who did not support us. That is also duly noted. But that's neither here nor there. I do thrive on negativity, so sorry about that. And in keeping up with Rogue One, a podcast for winners, we have our first winner. We announced it, and it only took probably 3 or 4 days to get 10 iTunes reviews. So every 10 iTunes reviews, someone is selected as a winner. And this week's prize was the very first Smuggler's Bounty box by Pops. And it is the Chrome Phasma one, for those of you who don't know. It's all complete, and the winner is Josiah. Josiah, I am DMing you now, my friend. Give us your address, and we will mail out your prize. Congratulations.
Congrats,
if you
dude.
did not win, that is okay, because there's another round. So 11 reviews, 11 through 20, there's going to be another winner picked. And if you were one of the unlucky people that didn't win the first round, that's okay. What I want you to do is I want you to reach out to your friends, reach out to your family. I want you to grab their iTunes account, and I want you to write a review. I don't care if you already wrote one. I don't care if it's from a different email. Go ahead. I want you to win. I want you to win. So write another review. Say you like it. Say you love it. Say you don't like it. No, that's not true. Don't say that. You won't win. But go ahead, enter as often as you like. And Michael has. Oh boy, this is probably. I might have to enter myself. I'm gonna create a fake iTunes account, and I'm gonna enter this after you hear what Michael has selected for our next prize. Mikey, take it away.
That's not happening. So we've got a Pops Boba Fett number 8, signed by the man himself, Jeremy Bullock. Jeremy Bullock, in quotations, Boba Fett, signed in green magic marker right on the front of the box. It's awesome.
That is amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty ballin'. I actually am thinking about hold on guys. Sorry, I'm making an iTunes account.
No, you guys cannot win. Sorry. Not happening.
You won't know, man. You're gonna see like Johanna Grasso.
Oh, I don't know.
No relation.
I may have connections to Hawes's friend who can IP target people who leave reviews. So, just saying.
Hold up, guys. Someone's pulling up in my driveway. Give me just a second, all right?
Yeah, no problem.
Oh shit!
Like-
It's Will. It's my buddy Will for Blue Harvest.
Oh, all right. What's up, Will?
Hey, man.
Hold on, man. Let me turn up this other mic for you. Sit down. Sit down. Come sit down with us.
What's up?
Pleasant surprise.
Hey guys, it's my buddy Will, my best friend.
What's up, guys? Good to see y'all here. You got it cranked
Hola.
up early.
Yeah. What's up, man?
Not much. You just said that you were recording and we were going to record, so I just came over to hang out and throw down a podcast.
Oh, my bad, dude. I got to be more specific about it. This whole 2 podcast thing, it's confusing for me now. We're recording Rogue One tonight, not Blue Harvest.
Yeah, I'm here. Mike's here.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry, buddy.
No, that's cool.
You seem bummed. Man, it's my fault. I apologize. I just, like I said, it's so confusing running the 2 shows now.
Okay, I was your main bitch, and now you got Johnny Grasso, and now I'm the side bitch, and he's the main bitch.
No, man, it's not like that.
Oh God, no.
No, man, come on.
I see how it is. The writing is on the wall here.
No, man, look, no, it's just Johnny asked me to help out with this show, and who am I to turn Johnny down? He's been good to us.
Oh, yeah, nobody can turn down Johnny Grasso.
Well, and nobody can turn you down, man. We're going to have you on as a guest.
You're really going to have me on as a guest?
Yeah, man, of course.
Yeah,
that's not so bad.
We just got a few people.
we got Jason the Ward.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
George Lucas. He's
Wow.
ahead of you. That makes sense, right?
I mean, yeah, that's epic.
We're part of the Star Wars network. We could probably get him.
I can deal with George being in front of me.
My cousin's friends with Mark Hamill.
Oh, shit. Hey, this is the first time. Come on, you got to be excited. And
I'm
then
excited.
maybe I can turn that into a sweet Mark Hamill Blue Harvest experience.
That would be neat.
Ben Affleck.
Ben Affleck.
Yeah.
Oscar Isaac.
Oscar Isaac.
What the hell does Ben Affleck have to do with Star Wars?
Oh, he was rumored to do a standalone Star Wars film a couple years ago.
Yeah. And plus, I mean, it's fucking Ben Affleck. You know how I feel about the Affleck.
Yeah. No, yeah, Batfleck. Yeah, I got you.
Who else, Johnny?
Max von Sydow.
He's goddamn near on death's door. If we don't get him now, who?
Who is Max von Sydow?
He's Lor San Tekka from the beginning of The Force Awakens.
Oh.
The old fella.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
No, that'll be fun.
And Matt Lanter. the voice of Anakin from the Clone Wars. We got to get him in. See
Yeah.
what he has to say.
Yeah. No.
Of course, Randy from Making Star Wars. He helped
Yeah.
birth the legend of Johnny Grosso.
That'd be a
I mean,
good one.
look, you see what I'm saying.
I see what you're doing here.
Juna Sutamo.
Who the fuck is Juna Sutamo?
You don't know? It's Chewbacca's double.
Chewbacca's double? You gonna put me behind? Okay.
Okay,
Like,
He's Chewbacca.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
And-
Just level with me. Like, let's cut the shit, and you tell me how far I am down on the guest list.
well, hold on. Let Johnny do some quick math here. He's got the list together.
There's Pip Anderson, Kyron Shaw, Sasha Frost, Pip Torrance.
Who the fuck are all
Andrew-
these people?
They're Star Wars folks.
Andrew Jack was Major Emot. Rocky Marshall, Greg Gunberg. You know, he does some things. You know, 102 people.
Yeah,
102.
yeah.
No,
just
no,
100.
no, I'm 103.
103. That's fucking great. You
Will,
know what? You
Will,
and I are gonna throw
Will,
down right
I've
now.
been watching on five.
Guys, what's going on? What the? Guys, guys. Will. Pause? Oh my god. Guys, hello?
Sorry about that, guys. I need to. Oh, fuck. All right, Will, come on,
You
man.
know what?
Go-
Johnny, enjoy your podcast. Nice to meet you, Mike. Fuck you, Hawes.
Oh shit, Will, don't.
Oh,
I got to take a break.
well, we can have them.
Yeah, it's all right. I got to take a break. Is that cool, guys?
Yeah.
All right, we'll be right back.
You were the chosen one!
And we have the Rogue One, a Star Wars story official teaser trailer breakdown. We're going to take it scene by scene, get the thoughts from our panel of experts, Hawes and Mikey. The first scene, let me just make sure it's on mute, is Jin walking down. Looks like she's handcuffed into a room. You have the old style rebel helmets. You've got, looks like construction, and she kind of peeks back at the camera. That's your first shot of the trailer. What do you think, Mike?
I appreciate the old helmets, man. It brings me back. Matter of fact, I felt like when I saw this scene, I felt like a kid even more so than I did watching the Force Awakens teaser.
Wow. Pause.
Yeah, I got to agree. It looks really good. I like the old helmets, and I like seeing the Yavin base again. That got me really excited.
Nice. In the next shot, you've got kind of like the side of Jin. Now you definitely see it looks like she's handcuffed and carrying something, or handcuffs. And then you have a side view of the helmet. And this is the part that I actually got excited. You walk by an open hangar, and you see an X-Wing.
Yep, old school X-Wing.
Yeah.
Did you guys see that Gonk droid too? I appreciated that. It's awesome. And the temple, like that hangar that they fly into in Yavin. I mean, I know we get the shot of the temple on the outside, but could it be that this is just the same area during daytime with a lot more light? Where Luke is getting in his X-wing before he takes off.
I think it's possible.
Yeah, it's definitely possible. And behind the X-Wing, it looks like kind of like army fatigue drapes, like kind of like to hide it. Like looks like a green camouflage. Or no, I'm sorry, more like a desert camouflage.
It's like a desert camouflage. I see that.
Yeah. And the next shot, screams New Hope and Force Awakens. You've got Jin standing in front of that map, that like glass neon map. You know what I'm talking about?
Yep. Yeah, from it's mostly. I remember it in Empire and on Hoth mostly.
Right,
but
right.
It was in A New Hope as well, right? There was a few shots, and the next shot is probably my favorite.
Go ahead, Mike. Why is it your favorite?
Mon Mothma. So I think this is the same actress. It's got to be, right? That was in the deleted scene for Revenge of the Sith.
It's
it definitely
It's
is.
confirmed.
That is awesome, dude. She looks so much like the actress in Jedi. It's crazy.
that scene right there is the one that I was most surprised to see in the character or in the trailer because for some reason I just didn't ever consider seeing that character in this movie. I'm glad we are, but it's the one that sort of surprised me the most.
Oh yeah, I was definitely like, oh shit. That was my oh shit moment.
Right.
Then we come back to Jin. Then we go to Diego Luna's character, Cassian Willix. What kind of impressions do you get when you look at him?
Honestly, the first time I watched it, I was like, he's got a Poe Dameron vibe going on.
I said I was gonna say the same damn thing, Hawes. It reminds me of Poe.
Which is a good thing.
You don't think Wedge?
Not really, because I'm used to seeing Wedge in his X-wing flight suit.
What about Dak? Could that be Dak? No way, right?
No. I think the rumors we're hearing about his name and stuff are probably right on, being
Right.
Cassian Willix. I kind of like the rumor before that maybe he was playing Biggs, but I'm fine with him not playing Biggs as well.
See, I would have liked that. Wedge or Biggs. I would have liked that a lot.
Well, that's not to say we may not see those characters in this movie.
Right. Definitely might. I doubt it though, but I would have liked to have seen it
Yeah.
in the trailer. All right, then we got Jin whooping ass with looks like a police baton and a E11 blaster.
Mm-hmm.
Look at those ragdoll effects, man. I feel like I'm playing Battlefront. That's awesome.
Right, and then that leads us to the line of the trailer. Anyone want to recite it?
I rebel.
Right, it's a rebellion. I rebel. What do you think? What do you think about that? Now I've heard a lot of people were like, "Yes, fucking A, greatest line ever," and I've heard people like, "Oh my god, that's like Swiss mozzarella. That's cheese."
Well, I like the line as a line of dialogue. I'm not super sold on the delivery. I'm hoping I dig it a little more when it's in context of the final movie. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
But as just a line of dialogue, I like it as a concept. And, her character seems pretty badass. But I want to see it in context of the final movie, see what I feel about it. I feel like it's not fair to the movie to take a single line from a trailer and sort of judge it until you see it as a whole.
I could take it or leave it. It doesn't really matter to me. I see the angle that they're going with. She's a badass. Why should the rebellion trust her on such a black ops type mission? I got a bit of a Suicide Squad vibe to this trailer. Not in terms of the craziness or the shock value, but in terms of good people getting trying to rebel for to liberate and to solve an imperialistic dictatorship, what have you. But they're getting people who may not be so just and so ethically correct to get it done. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean that's kind of what I got from her. She's such a badass that they don't even know if they can trust her, and they're the ones rebelling. But the line itself, I could take it or leave it.
Yeah, I have a thought on that, but I'll wait till it gets more specific in the trailer. But the line itself, I'm okay with it. What saves the line for me is Mon Mothma's reaction, the
eye roll.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know if it's I don't know if it's an eye roll, everyone who's listening to this podcast has probably seen the trailer 13 times, but it's just kind of like that look my mother gives me when I fuck up.
Right.
She just kind of looks down and in disgust, oh God, where did I go wrong?
Right.
So that's kind of how I would explain the look. When I think eye roll, I think Betty Boop, a complete 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock, stopping at 12 o'clock,
Right.
But just that, oh God. And then the Lucasfilm logo. What's up? And then she's traveling somewhere. And then the shot heard around the world. The completion, you want to call it? The completion of the Death Star. The what do you call that, Hawes?
The focusing array, I believe, is what that dish is called.
The focusing array. It's like the eye of the moon
Right.
You know, everyone knows what the Death Star looks like. It's where the laser beam comes out.
When I first saw it, I thought maybe they were calibrating it, and it always does that. It's not that it's like being finished, being built, or being completed. It just kind of like maybe it always did that. It always kind of projected out a little bit and then came back in for calibration or for whatever.
Yeah, there's a lot we don't know. Like, you know, when they sat down to write Rogue One, they were like, you know, our hands aren't tied to shit. Like, if you want this fucking thing to be like Unicron from the Transformers and drop legs out and pop a head out, you can. Doesn't you know? There's nothing that says we can't do anything. You know?
What if it's Mega Maid?
She's gone from suck to blow. Whenever you can fit in a Transformers and a Spaceballs reference in the same fucking 30 seconds on a podcast, bitch, you know you're winning.
Bazing.
Nah. Moving on.
Oh, by the
that's
way,
a fucking awesome shot.
So you guys know that's definitely the Devastator, that Star Destroyer right there, right?
Yes, we've heard. I've heard it on your podcast, Blue Harvest.
Well, thanks.
With Will Witten. That
What up,
yes,
Will?
it is.
What up, Will?
No, Will's in a bad mood right now. Will kind of stormed out like in a huffy just recently. So I don't know if Will's talking to us right now, but that's neither here nor there. But Hawes, remind us why we know that's definitely Vader's ship.
From what I understand, that X-looking structure between the two shield pylons, like, you know, the two shield things that come up out of the middle of the bridge area.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
and
about.
And then in the middle of that, there's like an X-looking structure. That's what designates it as being the Devastator, from what I understand.
All right, moving on. We got a little line of dialogue here. She has it's been said as the defiant yes, sir, when he's like, is that clear?
Right.
So, yeah. Look, I don't want a reputation of that guy that just like bags on all things Star Wars, but I'm gonna just say this: when I saw Daisy Ridley, I was in love.
Right.
I was like, nailed it. That's my girl. That's the future of my next Star Wars trilogy. I've already fallen in love. I can't wait to follow her to the ends of the galaxy. I'm not getting the feeling with this actress. What's her name again?
Felicity Jones.
Felicity Jones. Yeah, she's just not nailing it for me. Maybe
I know,
I'm
but
comparing her to Daisy. I don't know.
Once again, in context, it may be a little different.
Well, why do we got to compare her to Daisy, though? You know, I think they're two totally different characters. Mm-hmm. Daisy is supposed to stand for the light and the good of the Force and the galaxy and the hope, the new hope, I guess, as cheesy as that is. Jin is, talk about the dirtiest, like, just like street-style rebel that the rebellion may not have even wanted to bring on. She's supposed to be more of a badass, have some more grit to the character. So I think we may fall in love with Jin in a different way that we fall in love with Rey. It may not be so obvious at first.
Yeah,
which
maybe.
I think suits the character.
Maybe. This is the second time you kind of brought it up, so I'll interject my thought now real quick. Obviously I've only seen 5 seconds of this fucking movie, but I really hope they do a good job justifying why Jin is chosen to lead the secret mission for the rebellion. You know, I hope it's something like, well, because she's willing and she's expendable, and we don't really give a shit about her. Like, that would make sense to me.
Or she could be somebody like Ezra, who was on a planet just fucking with the Empire for so long and been in jail so many times that they've got a record on her, and they're like, this chick is kind of awesome for this job.
That's not a bad idea, Mike. That's not a bad, and I hope it's something like that. I'm just saying, I hope they sell it, because when I saw Armageddon with Bruce Willis and Ben Affleck in 1998, I didn't buy. I'm just telling you right now, as a perfect example, because we've all seen that movie, and Ben Affleck's hot right now. Sorry, Will Witten again.
So
Ben Affleck
right
is
now.
hot right now.
He's always hot.
I didn't buy fucking oil drillers in space to save the world. You know what I mean? It didn't fucking make sense to me. Like, you're going to tell me it's easier to teach an oil driller to be an astronaut than an astronaut to drill fucking for oil? Just saying. I hope it's not an Armageddon situation on our hands with Rogue One. That's all. And again, I'm not going to be like that dick right now. I'm just saying I hope it's solid. Like the foundation for her story is solid. That's all I'm saying.
Fair enough.
The next shot is the whole running out of the hangar. You got the X-wing pilots in that fucking classic uniform, and putting on their helmets and running out. You kind of got like the alarm. Any comments on that shot before we get to a fucking awesome shot?
I just like seeing all the pilots. I think that's cool.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Brings me back to being a kid once again.
And then, I'm going to say it, the baddest cape in the galaxy.
Look at that cape, dude. Holy shit.
Dude, Ben Mendelsohn looks like a complete fucking stud. Like, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready? Space pimp.
I was just going to say Grand Admiral Pimp to the deck.
Because we're East Coast, Mike. This West Coast shit don't know us.
Grand Admiral Mac Daddy Pimp. It almost looks like he has a cane when his hands are folded and he's got.
Well, I think that's a gun. That's a pistol, right?
Oh, that's awesome.
What do you think's behind him, Hawes?
You know what it looks
like? Is that
like?
the plans?
Yeah, I don't think it's the plans. I think that's the control room where Vader and Tarkin and Leia watch Alderaan get blown up. And that display you see there behind him, it's in that control room in A New Hope. So I think that's probably where he is.
This is on the Death Star?
Yes.
So where the hell is Tarkin?
He hasn't gotten there yet.
This guy's got way more blue and red shiny thingies on him than Tarkin did.
Well, I think, shout out to my boy Max Palace. He wrote a phenomenal article. Dude, it had pictures for me and everything. Thank you, Max. That did the whole rankings, and I think he's just an admiral.
Oh, nice.
And that's on the Star Wars Post if you want to check it out. My boy Max Palace. And back to the shot, just fucking awesome. He's looking down, he's menacing. The cape, dude, just awesome. Like, put that motherfucker in some blue makeup and red eyes, and you would have made like millions of nerds happy.
Forget it.
The next shot, we got some looming stormtroopers, so we can kind of just go through that. The classic one. And then we have Forrest Whitaker.
Ghost dog.
What will you do when they catch you? What do you think he's referring to, Mike?
I guess the Empire. I guess Vader, the Emperor, Grand Admiral Pimp Daddy. What will you do when they catch you? Will you fight? What will you become, Johnny?
Will you squeal? That's where I think he's going with it. Like, will you rat? Like,
I can
will
see
you
that.
die?
Oh,
will
like
you die?
Like in the torture chamber. Like, will you rat? Will you die?
Right.
Is it just me or that stormtrooper we saw in the shot before we saw? Oh my God, what's his name? Before we saw Forrest Whitaker, they look more badass to me. Like he's got a stance to him that has more charisma. Like the actual stormtrooper. You know, they look more menacing to me than they have in the original trilogy.
I think it's the black on black because you've never really seen it like in a TIE fighter, but like a TIE fighter pilot's always kind of just sitting down and he's got a stick in front of him. This guy's got like a fucking gun. He's strapped. It looks like he's got like, a shoulder strap with maybe I want to say bullets because I don't have a better word, but whatever, energy chargers. I don't know.
So are these the Death Squad or the?
Yeah,
or
and that
guys?
means Vader's not too far behind. And then I posted on Twitter, but no one gave a shit. The building in the background looks like the fucking castle from Disney, dude. Like kind of like a little like wink joke. Apparently, I'm the only one who thought it and got it, but I'm gonna stick to it. And the next shot, you've got some pellets. Pellets. What a fucking idiot. Pilots handcuffed, being walked by troopers. Then you've got Jin and Cassian. I gotta learn that name. Cassian Willix. Right?
What a name.
Oh, it's so Star Warsy. Like George Lucas is fucking very proud.
Yep.
Like I can just see like they called him up and be like, George, I want to run this name by you. Cassian Willix.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Sounds good. Quicker, faster, quicker,
more intense.
So there's also a droid running with them. Is this the droid from that Rebels episode with
No,
Chopper?
this is I think this is Alan Tudyk's motion capture character.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think he's going to look badass, and that's why we haven't seen him yet. I think he's the next Chewbacca. You've heard it here first because I listen to every fucking podcast. No one said it. I think Alan Tudyk's droid is like the Chewbacca figure of this film. It's the sidekick that's not really human, but they count on him. Call it the Zeb in Rebels. You know,
Right on.
the Chewbacca of Star Wars. He's kind of like that cool sidekick. But instead of going with an animal, they went with a robot.
I like it.
I like it too. Yeah,
Kind of like Chewbacca meets R2/3PO. The book can fuck shit up. Then you have a myriad of troopers of all shapes and sizes and colors, and you know, you got like running through the Death Star. And then, I'm sorry, Ron, the most unbelievable part of the trailer for me. I know people like you loved it. I know Sal loved it. But I'm sorry, guys. You're a little Asian guy with a stick surrounded by troopers with fucking E11 blasters isn't going to win this fight.
I don't know, man. I like it.
Maybe he's
like
blind
it.
like Kanan.
No, but that's fine. Even if he's a Jedi, it's not a lightsaber. Take a step back and shoot the motherfucker. This is kind of like, this is stretching reality for me a little bit. Does it look cool? Yes. Do I like the character? Yes. Do I buy him circled by stormtroopers? He's going to win that fight when all I have to do is pull a trigger and you've got a stick. I'm not buying.
Is his ability, he's specialized in Terras Kasi? Is that what that is? What is that? Like
the Masters of Tiramisu?
Masters of Tiramisu.
That was one of the worst PlayStation games ever.
Oh, so bad.
One of the worst Star Wars games ever.
Yeah. But I don't know. What do you think? Am I being too hard, or do you buy a blind Asian guy with a stick?
I mean, it's Star Wars. I'll buy just about everything but helicopter lightsabers.
I have no comment on it. I have no opinion.
I'm just saying.
I gotta wait to see it.
Let's pretend. Let's play a little game real quick. I know I'm going off the beaten path, but that's I got a good gut feeling about this. Let's say Rogue One, meaning us, the podcast, WON, surrounds Ron Solo from making Star Wars. Okay, and he's got a stick. And I'm like, we got this, and we've got blasters. And we're like, you know, Ron, put the stick down. You know, you're coming to Rogue One. You know, we're kidnapping you. You're going to work for us now. You're going to be our lawyer. And all of a sudden, Ron starts whooping Hawes' ass. I'm going to shoot the fucker.
You're going to be Indiana Jones, and he's going to be the Arab guy.
Yeah, the second he starts hitting one of you, I'm pulling the trigger, and I'd like to think do the same for me. Don't just stand there and watch. Help me out. If Ron's whooping my ass with a stick, shoot that motherfucker. Shoot that motherfucker. Shoot Ron. Hashtag shoot Ron. I'm sorry. That's all I'm saying. Like, after this blind Asian guy with a stick beats the piss out of the first stormtrooper, I'm fucking shooting, man. I'm shooting.
I don't think he could blast. I mean, he could block with that stick. He could block any blaster shots.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Shoot him, Mike.
Laser blasts.
If I get
I will
hit,
shoot
him.
Well, I'm not in the chest.
I'm not taking you to a fight.
Oh, God.
That's what I got my Alabama boys for. Pause.
Will. Taking him to the headshot.
Goose. Fuck it. I'm bringing Goose.
He's just
Headshot.
looking for an excuse to shoot somebody.
Yo, Goose, if you're listening, episode 3, I'm doing a whole thing on your question, Yoda and the Emperor. Just a little teaser for everybody.
Whoosh.
It's going to be awesome. Hawes is going to hate it. But moving on. Then we have some battle scenes, some explosions. Then we have, again, the Admiral, White Cape, Ben Mendelsohn walking through water like a beachfront, dead stormtroopers.
Great shot.
Great shot. Great shot. The world is burning. Did it crash? Did it land in the water? Did it crash in the water? The rest of the Cape looks clean. Obviously, the bottom's wet. Like, is he storming the beach in Normandy? Like, is it after the battle and he's overseeing? Like, he's looking at what's happened. He's what do you think's going on here, guys?
Yeah, that's the aftermath. The battle went down. If he's standing there, it looks like the Empire won. He's coming in just to check out what's going on, see what he can find from the scraps of the war, and maybe some rebel soldiers that are still alive. That's what I say. And he doesn't give a shit that his cape gets wet. He's like, I don't give a shit. I got 20 more capes just like this.
He's got people to clean it.
Yeah, I think he's there sort of just surveying what's gone down. You know what I mean?
Okay, so you don't think like he got shot down and he's definitely like in control still, just chilling. He's pimping. He's
Yeah.
space pimp.
Yeah.
Now the next shot, you've heard every theory in the world, so we'll throw in our 2 cents. I think I'm right. I'll go last because I'm probably right because I usually am. No, I'm just kidding. You have the shot in probably the Death Star. You've got the 2 Imperial guards that usually are with the Emperor in a room with looks like, many people have used the words, back to tank. Although you can't tell if it's water, it's just kind of like a glowing tube, like a light fluorescent tube. And you've got a hooded figure. You see the back of him, and he kind of like takes a knee in front of it. What? Go ahead, around the horn. Pause. What do you think? We'll go to you first.
I have no idea, to the point where, like, I don't think it's Vader because of the hood, mainly. And I don't know that the figure matches Vader's sort of, physical build. On the other hand, I don't really think it's the Emperor, because who does the Emperor bow to? Nobody. So, honestly, I have no clue. It may even be a character we just aren't aware of yet, as far as I know.
Mike, what do you think?
Oh, come on. It's so obvious, guys. That's Starkiller. No. You know who I think that is? I think, so this is really going off on a ledge, but I want to be a little different in my theory. So in the Darth Vader comic books, there's like this doctor guy. I forget his name. I was trying to pull it up while Hawes was giving his theories, and I'll find it in a minute. But he's created all these like artificial Jedi or artificial Sith guys. Like there's like a Mon Calamari head with like a General Grievous body dude, and there's like these 2 Padawan twins that are like kind of maniacal. So I think that that's the dude who made Vader's suit for the Emperor when he got all fucked up, and they put him in the suit in the end of Revenge of the Sith. So I think that maybe he's like working on Vader, and he's coming in to like check him out and shit. And Vader's in the back of the tank, like getting stronger or something like that. Just to throw a different theory out there, because I'm trying not to think of the obvious,
What about you, Johnny? What do you think it is? Mister, I'm always right.
You want the right answer.
Right.
All right. Jason, if you're listening, here's the right answer. This is why you hired me. I'm not going to let you down, my friend. It is Ben Mendelsohn's character. He is looking at probably one of the main pieces of the weapon he created. I believe, through Jason Scoops, that Ben Mendelsohn's character is like the mad scientist that kind of created the Death Star, and he's taking a knee, falling in disgust with the "What have I done?"
Oh, right on.
In Star Wars.
I like it.
That's who's in the cape. It's not the Emperor. It's not Vader. There's no one inside of it. I think something straight out of your average day science fiction movie that's kind of like the power core, the power source, the what have you. And he's kind of like, "What have I done?" And then this is where he kind of turns and gets that moment of regret. And being the history teacher that I am, it relates to the World War II Manhattan Project, the German scientists that came over from Nazi Germany, that came to help develop the atomic bomb for the Allies, the United States specifically. Oppenheimer comes to mind. After Oppenheimer designed the atomic bomb, he wrote like a fucking 10-page speech essay basically saying like, "I fucked up, like don't use this or you're going to ruin the world." And I think that's where the story arc for Ben Mendelsohn's character came from. And I think that picture is painting or that picture is saying all those words.
Fair enough.
Johnny Grosso.
So
thank you.
We've got Royal Guards there. I don't think I've ever seen Royal Guards in any Star Wars movie without the Emperor close by. Who's not to say that Ian McDiarmid was on set for 2 days, not even a day, and they've got him in there for a 1.5-minute segment, and he's coming to see his new toy. He's coming to see the main mini reactor that powers the big reactors that the boys always blow up, and he's there for a 1.5 minutes.
I like Hawes's theory though. Who's he kneeling to?
I don't know if is he kneeling? I don't think he's kneeling.
He definitely is. It sort of cuts off before he finishes it, but if you watch it in like the really high quality, like 4K
he dips
version,
a little bit.
yeah, it looks like he's going down for a good fancy kneel.
Right. Unless he's going down to pop a little hologram and talk to his boy Vader.
The next shot is again, Forrest Whitaker kind of finishing his line, so we'll just kind of skip over that. What did you guys think of Forrest Whitaker's kind of like, exosuit
I like it.
type thing?
It reminds me of Fallout, so I like it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's perfect reference, Hawes. He's definitely like post-apocalyptic. It actually reminded me of Mad Max a little bit.
Yeah, I can see that too.
Yeah, but
I was thinking RoboCop without like the helmet.
Yeah.
The only thing I don't get is that like he seems like kind of decrepit and kind of crippled. He's got a little limp. It's fucking Star Wars. It's the Star Wars galaxy. Like you can replace all your limbs and shit.
Yeah,
why do you need to limp?
Maybe his robot leg is on the fritz. You know what I mean? He can't get that shit fixed. He don't have the money to take it to the robot leg shop.
He's like Chopper. He's got to go to the fucking the discount bin and try to get a new leg.
Right.
All right, the next shot, you've got the AT-ATs and the rebels storming the beach. Definitely a beach, definitely sand, definitely water, definitely palm trees. Guys, I'm going to take the conch shell first on this one. The palm tree, listen, I love everything about this shot. The AT-ATs look awesome. The point of view is awesome. The rebels, like, pretty much fucked. Everything about this shot is awesome except the palm trees. It took me out of the Star Wars universe. I hated the palm trees.
You know what? They don't bother me that much because of how much from World War II the original trilogy draws from, that it sort of reminds me of the conflict in, like, the Pacific. You know what I mean?
It just reminds me of Earth, man.
Yeah.
When I saw, like, Yavin and I saw the trees and shit, I wasn't like, oh, shit, Shark River Hills where I grew up. I was just like, trees. I saw these palm trees, and I was like, fucking San Diego? Like, took me right to, I'm just being honest. That's what
Fair enough.
That's why I'm here. Honestly, it took me out of the trailer. I was like, oh, shit, palm trees. I should have said, oh, shit, AT-ATs. But I said, oh, shit, palm trees, weird.
I did say, oh, shit, AT-ATs. And actually, the AT-ATs are a little bit different than the ones we see in Empire.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody notice that?
Oh, yeah.
They're a bit different. Like, they're like pre-Empire AT-ATs.
They seem like sort of a mix between the ones we got towards the beginning of this season of Rebels and what we get in Empire. It looks like sort of the version in the middle of those two.
Right. It's the evolution of the AT-AT, which is awesome. And then I'll take Johnny's side on this. I saw the palm trees and I said, okay, so they're trying to use the AT-ATs in a totally different way than they did in Empire. So instead of being like freaking in the Arctic, they went to Florida.
Yeah.
You know? I mean,
right. I got that in The Force Awakens when I saw the AT-ATs in the desert. I was like, oh, shit, they work in sand too? And then I thought to myself, you fucking idiot, why wouldn't they?
You know there's AT-ATs in Return of the Jedi, right? They're in the forest.
Yeah, in Endor, my fault.
Yeah. Come on, guys.
You're right.
We're rogue winners.
But most recently, I saw the Force Awakens. All right, so I'm the only asshole who fucking didn't like the palm trees. That's fine. The last shot, you've got Jin in a Imperial black stormtrooper, TIE fighter, or gunner outfit.
She's a TIE pilot, my friend.
TIE pilot? Are you sure?
Yeah, she's got the blue. She's got the little blue spot on that front chest piece on the right on that side, and then on the bottom right of it, there's like a little rectangular piece there. And I'm paused. I mean, she doesn't have like the tubes, like the breathing tubes in the front.
But it just might be because she doesn't have the helmet on.
Yeah, she's suiting up. You know, she's getting in a TIE fighter to blow the shit out of him from the back door. That's what I say.
I think that maybe how she's going to try and escape the Death Star. Maybe is in a TIE fighter.
Good. That's the escape.
Yeah, maybe.
That's how they're making their way out of the casino.
Yeah.
Before Andy Garcia can get them.
There you go.
I think it was. I mean, I know it was Tracy from Rebel Girl. She mentioned that I think she was pretty sure it was a gunner, Death Star gunner. So I'll have to re-listen or ask her on Twitter, see which one of you guys is correct, or we'll just wait till the movie comes out.
Right on.
We'll see.
Placing bets, and that basically wraps up the trailer. You know, it's basically the theme is what will you become, Rogue One.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so does she turn? I would like if I was writing this movie, and Lucasfilm, I'm available for any future projects. Please consider me. If I was writing Rogue One, I would flip the script and make her a double agent and have her actually work for the Empire when the whole time you think she's the rebel that steals the Death Star plans. I want her to end up being like a double agent and kind of like fucking the rebellion.
Oh, wow.
That would be really cool. And what gave me that idea was, Forrest Whitaker, like with that last line.
Huh.
Johnny's watching too much Game of Thrones, Hawes.
It sounds like maybe.
But overall impressions, 30 seconds or less. Hawes, what did you think?
So before the trailer, I was at a 7 on excitement for the movie, and now I'm at a full 10. Like, I kind of knew that would happen as soon as I saw the first trailer. I'd get really amped up, and seeing the classic stormtroopers, Star Destroyers, some new troopers, some new cast members that look pretty awesome. I'm really excited.
Yeah,
Mikey?
and same for me, man. I am at a 10. Before I saw this trailer, maybe I wasn't as excited. Now I am freaking stoked. I can't believe how close they got to making this look and feel like a New Hope on both ends, on the Empire and the Rebel side. I think the backdrop, the backgrounds, the sceneries, wow, the sets that they've built at Pinewood apparently really makes me feel like I was on Yavin when they were in the hangar. The Death Star stuff is on point. I'm psyched. I'm amped. Take my money. Take it all. Done.
I can't give it a 10.
Really?
No. Now, here's what I will say about the trailer itself. For someone who grew up morbidly obese and did nothing but watch television and movies, I will say this about the trailer. It is a fucking fabulously cut piece of cinema right there. It is a great trailer in itself. You take away AT-ATs and the fucking Death Star, I want to see that movie anyway.
Right.
Regardless of a Star Wars film or not. But what would have made it a 10 for me, and I think it's coming eventually, is if I saw Darth Vader.
I think you will see him in a trailer eventually.
That's why I have to save my 10, Hawes. Y'all want to be fucking like it's prom night and just give that shit up for free.
Hey,
I'm going to
man.
hold out. I'm holding out for fucking
I
Vader.
put out
Then
for
I'll
Star
give you the
Wars.
10.
I put out
Johnny,
for Star
the whole
Wars.
purpose of this film is to really make the universe feel bigger, to give us more stories to want to be told to, and to fall in love with new characters and expand the franchise. If they throw Vader in it right away, yes, our demographic is going to get really, really excited. But you got to remember, they're building Star Wars for the new generation who aren't as in love with Darth Vader as we are. So obviously we're going to see him. We'll probably see him by Celebration. Actually, I'm going to guarantee that we see him by Celebration. But they don't want to make him the forefront of the merchandising and the face of this film. They want Jin to be that. They want Diego Luna's character to be that, and Ben Mendelsohn's character. Vader's going to be there. He's going to be shredding shit up, I'm sure. But that's the whole purpose of making these standalone films, is to expand the universe. You can't have Darth Vader and Chewbacca and Luke Skywalker in every movie.
I think it may be a little longer before we see him. If I had to guess, they may take a strategy kind of like Civil War did with their final trailer, and we see him in the very last moments of the final trailer, kind of like we did Spider-Man.
Right.
I'm happy we didn't see him.
And okay. I disagree. I think if you want a 10 from me, you got to bring in Vader, because everyone's thinking it. Everyone knows he's in the movie, and now it's a fact that they cast. I forget his name. There's an actor cast as fucking Darth Vader in the movie.
Yeah, I saw that today, actually.
I forget his name, but if you're a Star Wars fan, you know it.
I got it. It's coming up right now. But go on, Johnny. I digress.
Yeah. So basically, that's all I'm saying. I'd like the trailer. If it was a Star Wars movie or not, it makes me want to see it. I'm going to go 8, 7.5, 8. And when I see Vader fuck shit up, like the second they announced this movie and said it was about the plans, and I'm like, oh my God, you have to have Vader. Like I remember talking with Randy about it, And we just both kind of agreed like it would be a blown opportunity. Like what a missed opportunity if you don't have Vader in this film. So now it's basically confirmed like 100% that Vader will be in the film, which means they're going to put him in the trailer, which means that's when they'll get my 10. That's all I'm saying.
Well, it's not confirmed by Disney yet, but if you're on the inside, like we are, you know that he's in the movie.
Yeah. All right. I'll give you that.
What will you become?
With that, okay, the big news this week was the Rebels finale, and we've incorporated it into our first segment, You Write It. Basically, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about Rebels. We're going to talk about what we liked about the finale, and in keeping true with this segment, You Write It, we're going to tell you what we changed to make it better. Hawes, what do you think, my man?
What would I change about the Rebels finale to make it better?
Oh, what you want to start off with what you thought about it, what you liked, what you didn't like, and then what you change?
What I liked, I liked the music. I thought the music was amazing. Kevin Kiner did a really good job. I liked the little clip or little piece of Duel of the Fates that he threw in right when Vader and Ahsoka started clashing.
Oh my God, I fucking love that.
I thought that was awesome. The music at the end was excellent. The music during the Vader and Ahsoka fight was really good. I liked Maul. I thought Maul was cool. I liked his new saber design. I thought it was kind of neat how he was sort of using it as a cane or a crutch towards the beginning of the episode. I liked sort of the cliffhanger it left us on. I'll be interested to see where they go with that and if it actually pays off in any significant way. And, you know, I as a whole, there were parts I liked, there were parts I didn't like. I watched it again and actually liked it a little better the second time than I did the first time. But I have to say, there was something in that show that I dislike more than anything I've ever seen, read, or heard in Star Wars. And that was the goddamn helicopter lightsabers.
That was hysterical. Hysterical in a sense that it was a little ridiculous that they even went there and had that happen. It was unbelievable.
You know, had they done it once, I would have been like, you know what? Okay, whatever. That's dumb. But to do it what seemed like every 5 minutes, I just couldn't take it, man. Anytime a cool fight would start, those fucking bastards would just helicopter away. Ridiculous.
I think it's like a cheap way out to get the Inquisitors to be able to climb up the temple very fast and be very stealthy, ninja-like to get, you know, on different sides of the temple while Ezra and Kanan, Ahsoka, and Maul are kind of getting to the top there.
Yeah.
But do it once. Don't do it. Don't have all three Inquisitors do it throughout the whole entire episode. That's a little ridiculous.
Exactly.
And let's not pretend that force jumping isn't a thing.
Right? Now, I understand the Inquisitors aren't supposed to be as powerful in the Force as, say, you know, Vader or the Emperor because, you know, Vader and the Emperor are not going to let them become that powerful because they don't want to be overthrown. But still, man, like, what a terrible concept, in my opinion. Like, and thankfully, the outcry over helicopter sabers has sort of, you know, grown over the last few days. So hopefully they take that into account and that's the last that we see of that bullshit.
So you mentioned Darth Maul's lightsaber. I wanted to bring something up, and that's a good segue. I liked it too. It was kind of like a combination of Darth Maul meets Count Dooku a little bit.
Right.
But what immediately came to my mind was, and just a little background on myself, what Hawes is to Boba Fett is what I am to Darth Maul. Like, Darth Maul is my guy. Like, it started off, you know, when I was little, obviously Darth Maul didn't exist, but in my adult form, I've been really attracted to Darth Maul, and that completely sold the Clone Wars for me. And in the Clone Wars, if you recall, after the Emperor defeated Savage Opress and kind of let Darth Maul live and say, you know, I'll deal with you later, I have something in mind for you, what have you, does anyone remember what Darth Maul had on him at that time? The Darksaber. Darth Maul had the Darksaber.
All right, so the Darksaber, that whole thing with Death Watch and with the Mandalorians and the Darksabers, I don't think that's something that Maul would traditionally always go with. I think it was temporary as he was like literally sitting in the throne on Mandalore. I think it was temporary. I don't think that was something that would be marked to Darth Maul for the rest of his tenure in Star Wars storytelling. I always expected him, when he shows back up, to go back to his dual red saber.
Hey, Mike, did you read that that Darth Maul, Son of Dathomir miniseries comic?
So I've been looking for them, actually. I just found the whole, they give like a trade paperback version, all the episodes in one book. I just found it on Amazon. I've been looking for it. I missed them when they came out in individual issues. I missed them, so I'm hoping to get that soon.
I was
but
just
I heard
wondering
it didn't really fill in any of the gaps.
Right. I was just wondering if maybe that was
Shocking.
something, if that was something that was addressed in that, because that takes place after the last Darth Maul arc in the Clone Wars. So I didn't know if maybe that whole Darksaber thing was addressed in that, and I haven't read it myself either.
From not my reading, because I don't read, but from my podcast listening, Maul had the Darksaber at the end of that run as well.
Oh, really?
So yeah, in continuity, Darth Maul should have had the Darksaber. And I'm just saying it because I'm not calling anyone out on their shit. I'm just saying I really like the Darksaber. It's a black lightsaber. What's not to like about it?
And it looks like a katana. Yeah, I've got a thing for that saber too.
I just wish he had it. I'm not saying it ruined the episode at all for me or anything, but I just thought it was cool, and I was hoping he had it still. But I also like the Count Dooku meets Darth Maul dual lightsaber as well. I mean, when you think Darth Maul, you think double lightsaber blade. Sorry.
Right.
So I didn't mind seeing that either.
I thought the scene where Darth Maul and Kanan and Ezra and Ahsoka all teamed up to sort of fight the Inquisitors, I thought that was really cool. Could they have telegraphed Darth Maul's betrayal anymore, though? You know what I mean? Like, did anybody at any point go, "Oh wow, Darth Maul has really become a good guy now"?
No, I think Ahsoka knew the whole time. She was just kind of letting him help them out in the interim, just to kind of get rid of the Inquisitors, get to the top of the temple, get the holocron, and then deal with the aftermath on what's going to come next. I'm sure Kanan felt the same way. Ezra's the one who probably thought this guy was all just and good and wanted to be a friend, and a mentor, if you will. But I think all along they kind of knew that Maul was going to go back to his old ways as soon as he got what he wanted. And it seems that he also wants an apprentice, which I think is pretty cool.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like, I'm 100% with you, Mike. I think Darth Maul was never going to turn on Ezra. I think Darth Maul needs Ezra and wants Ezra because he wants to use Ezra, become strong again, take on Vader and Palpatine. Don't forget, not you guys, but our listeners, don't forget, Darth Maul was very upset when the Emperor killed Savage Opress, his brother. Mm-hmm. So he's all about revenge.
Oh, wait,
and he knows he's not strong enough. I'm sorry?
He specifically mentions, that the Sith took everything from him. They killed his brother. And
he needs the knowledge to defeat the Emperor because he knows he can't do it now. So he's, that's his mission. And I would love to see that storyline take off. I don't think it's definitely not going to be in Rebels, but that's something I want to see. Darth Maul rise up to try and take on Vader and the Emperor in revenge. I'm on Team Darth Maul all the way right there.
Yeah, but I mean, we know how that's going to have to go. I mean, obviously, Vader and the Emperor are around by the original trilogy, so I feel like there was an opportunity lost, and maybe it's because they're saving it for next season, but how do you not have Maul and Vader face off?
Oh, that would have been so great.
You know what I mean?
Well, is that your official you write it?
Oh no, my you write it would have just been to get rid of the helicopter sabers. I mean, there's a lot I would have changed. I don't consider myself a professional writer or anything. There's just, I feel like it was one of those situations where I had a lot of expectations built up about this episode specifically, and close to zero of those expectations were met.
Yeah, I agree. I think the one thing that I know will get a wow or surprise factor out of Star Wars outside of the main films is seeing characters that we love pop up, seeing Leia and Lando and Vader. But other than that, I've kind of given up on high expectations on some type of twist, shock value, seeing someone die. Mm-hmm. People do die in the Clone Wars. People, the Jedi have been slaying separatists and vice versa. We also see a bunch of Jedi die, but it seems like Filoni just doesn't want to kill Ahsoka. He doesn't want to kill any of these characters off. Not the main characters. Maybe he's too invested personally in the characters he's created and developed throughout the years. But I mean, it's time for Ahsoka to go, if you ask me.
I think you sort of nailed it. I think he's too close to the characters and wants to figure out how to write them out without killing them, to always leave that little glimmer of hope that he can do something with them in the future. I think he missed a great opportunity by not killing Ahsoka. And I know that sounds kind of like makes me a heartless son of a bitch, but to really wrap up her story in an impactful way, I think you sort of missed your best opportunity. Do you guys see what I'm saying?
And as Star Wars fans, I think the community really speaks. Like, we like closure. You know, we don't need those open loop ends wherever. We want to know exactly what happens to the characters. We have a specific time period we need answers in, and we'd like a lot of those answers to be wrapped up. I'd like a lot of those answers to be wrapped up prior to Rogue One. As Rogue One leads into Episode 4, I want to know exactly, you know, everything that's said in the original trilogy, how, you know, Luke really is the last one besides Yoda.
Mm-hmm.
I need that. I need that closure. I need that finalized, or it's not going to. I just don't feel right about it.
Well, you know, I read a lot of interviews and stuff with Filoni after, you know, the finale aired, and he said, you know, well, Ahsoka says it herself, I'm no Jedi, so that eliminates her from that applying to her when, you know, Yoda says, when I die, the last of the Jedi will you be?
Yeah, but Hawes, it's still a cop-out to me. Because
exactly.
If anybody wants to redeem Vader more than his own son, it's going to be Ahsoka Tano. And for her not to be in the mix in the original trilogy, if she's still alive, whether she's Jedi or not, it doesn't sit well with me at all.
No,
so
I totally agree. It is almost the exact definition of a fucking cop-out. It's almost like he was like, you know what? You know how I can get away with not killing Ahsoka? I'll just have her say she's not a Jedi anymore. And then that doesn't apply. Is he going to do the same thing with Kanan and Ezra? To me, the idea of Kanan, Ezra, and Ahsoka, those three characters especially, making it into the time of the original trilogy is ridiculous.
Yeah, unless they're held prisoner or something. That doesn't make any sense to me. So we're all in agreement that Ahsoka is still alive, because we do see her for 2 seconds in the temple. It fades to black. It fades back to Kanan. But we're in agreement that she's still alive, and she was just kind of with regret and remorse with fighting her old master again.
I wouldn't sign on to the regret and remorse thing, but I definitely think they left it so she's alive.
I think it was too fucking ambiguous. I'll say this: if that was supposed to be her dying, way to ruin what could have been an awesome bit of closure for a character that is so well liked. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah,
I'm gonna give Dave Filoni the benefit of the doubt, because I actually met him at New York Comic Con and spent a total of 3 minutes. But you know, the guy exudes intelligence. So as a storyteller, and I said it on episode 1. There's not a more talented man working in television today than Dave Filoni. So I think he did exactly what he wanted to do. I don't think he killed her and then messed up showing it. I think he left it ambiguous. I think on purpose. I think he left it leaning way towards Ahsoka lives.
Yeah.
I agree with everything you guys said as far as that goes. I'm gonna throw a little wrench into everything though. I'm gonna take it from a little personal point of view, and I'm gonna bring up the fact that I saw Ashley Eckstein and Dave Filoni together at New York Comic Con, and I went to the Her Universe panel where she was like starting a book line.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And Dave was on the panel. The way they look at each other, and they're both happily married. I'm not saying they're having an affair. I am not saying that, but there is definitely a mentor-mentee relationship there. There's definitely some type of very close friendship there.
An Anakin-Ahsoka relationship almost?
Yeah, even yeah, I'll take that. Yeah, definitely something is there. There's a personal level there. And I think, if I had to guess, and that's what you guys pay me for, to give opinions, my opinion is that Dave Filoni is attached to Ashley Eckstein personally. Friendship. I'm not getting all fucking TMZ on you guys. I think his friendship with her is so strong, he can't kill off the character, that he wants to keep bringing her back. Because once Ahsoka dies, there goes her universe clothing line. No more Ahsoka t-shirts. And a little piece of empirical evidence that kind of substantiates my opinion. The fucking split second that episode is over, I see ads for an Ahsoka t-shirt completely mimicking the last image we see of her on the Rebels finale.
Yep,
It's
the
a huge
journey,
marketing plan behind all that.
the
So-
journey of Ahsoka, I think is what it was called, or Ahsoka's journey, or something like
Like,
that.
what the fuck? I'm not stupid, all right? I may come off like an idiot. I may come off like a California beach bum who only works out and eats Taco Bell. But goddamn, the good Lord gave me a brain, and I'm using it. And this is where I think they're going with it. I think Eckstein and Filoni are friends, and he doesn't want to write his friend out of a job. Especially since her universe is so heavily relied upon the Ahsoka t-shirt sales.
Well, even if they killed off Ahsoka, it's not like Ahsoka merchandise would stop selling. It's not like people are going to stop buying Han Solo merchandise. You know what I mean?
I agree with you, Hawes. Point taken. But would you concede that there'll be less of it if she's out of the show?
For sure. For sure they would.
Maybe.
Yes.
I mean, we'll see. The thing I'm trying to say is, like, if you can kill off Han Solo, you can kill off Ahsoka.
All right, I agree. But is there going to be a Han Solo Episode 8 action figure?
Well, no.
What they may be doing is, or let's say everything
Hold
Johnny's
on,
saying
for the record,
is,
he said no.
I heard him. I was here.
Say.
So let's say that all of that is true, Johnny. What do you think? How many seasons do we have left? You say 3?
1,
4?
they said it.
They said they confirmed that we've got season
Yeah.
3. That's it.
Pause. They're done after 3, correct?
I don't think they've officially confirmed that, but I that's the rumor that's going around.
So maybe he's keeping Ashley around as long as production is live for Rebels, as long as they're working on episodes and content, and then maybe a finale for season 3 or the series finale. We'll see something. We'll see some type of closure with that character. You also want to keep in mind, not only because of Filoni's relationship with Ashley, but also Disney may say, let's keep this character around. There's been a big uproar with the whole female integration of characters in Star Wars being at the forefront, regardless of us having a main heroine in Episode 7. Originally, they said, "Oh, there's only Leia and there's Rey, and that's it for The Force Awakens." And as we know, as we've seen, there's usually very, very few females in the films. So Ahsoka being such a big part of the CGI Star Wars universe, or the animated Star Wars universe, they may want to keep her around as long as they can. Yeah, we have Hera, we have Sabine, who I think they could have done a lot more with in both of these seasons. But Ahsoka is the most beloved female character on the show right now. And maybe from a marketing perspective, they want to keep her around for the remainder of the whole series, which may be another season. So hopefully we'll see some type of closure again, because it's personal to me, and it means a lot to me that I get that in the next season.
I'm okay. I'm 110% okay with Ahsoka living. I want Ahsoka. I am a big Ahsoka fan. Matter of fact, not to jump to the collecting with Hawes segment, but the next Black Series figure that I'm on the hunt for is the Ahsoka one. I want it bad. I love Ahsoka. I don't want Ahsoka gone. I'm just trying to figure out why she's still around. Because if you wanted Ahsoka to live, she never should have faced Vader. She should have fought Maul. You could have had just a great fight, just a great ending. You know what I mean? You could have had the tie or whatever, and her walking away into the darkness, maybe not, ambiguous ending with Maul. But when she fights Vader, that should have been it. That should have been it. And
were you guys even cool with her cracking his mask?
Oh, I loved it.
I loved it.
I loved it. Yeah.
That motherfucker should not have had an eyebrow. That shit got burned
Johnny
off.
was saying that too.
Listen, that's definitely like furious fanboy shit. So I'm not even gonna feed into it. Like, they wanted to make him as recognizable as possible for those people that may not know that Anakin is Darth Vader and Darth Vader is Anakin. Because don't forget, there are 7-year-olds that watch the show that may not have seen the movies.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm okay with that. But I definitely feel that if they were going to kill Ahsoka, they should have done it, and it should have been obvious.
Mm-hmm.
And if they were going to have Ahsoka live, which it looks like they're doing, it should have been obvious, more obvious, and she shouldn't have faced Vader. That's how I would have changed it. I would have taken off, even though it was epic and awesome, I would have taken off the fight with Ahsoka and Vader, replaced it with Ahsoka versus Maul, and that's how I would have changed it. But I'm okay with Ahsoka living. I
I'm
just
calling
wish
it
they,
right
they
now.
spelled it out.
We won't see Ahsoka in next season of Rebels. I'm telling you right now.
See, I'm going to disagree with you, and I think we're going to see Ahsoka in the premiere episode of season 3 of Rebels, and then you won't see her for a freaking long time. I think the best episodes of Rebels are the premiere episodes and the finales. And episode 2 was all about the bookends. Episode 1 of season 2 of Rebels was fucking epic. I loved it.
That's a great episode.
And that's why I've been so hard on you, Rebels. I've been so fucking up your shit, Filoni, about season 2 of Rebels, because the fucking first episode of season 2 was awesome. And then you dragged me through the mud with some not so great episodes. And then the finale was awesome. I don't like the ending. You know, I didn't really get to weigh in yet, so I'll weigh in real quick now. I loved, what was it, an hour long? I loved 58 minutes of that episode. Even the lightsaber helicopter thing didn't bother me that much. I loved 58 minutes of that episode, and the only thing I didn't like was the ambiguous ending. If Ahsoka lives, fine. I'm okay with that. If Ahsoka dies, I thought it would have been, I think, Mike, you used the word closure. I think it would have given us closure, and that's what we needed. That's what we want as far as storytellers and story watchers. And just the way it ended is what kind of took me out of the whole episode. But if I may, and again, like I've said it before, I'm developing a fanboy crush on Freddie Prinze Jr. because he's so supportive of Star Wars on Twitter, and he really works Twitter supporting Star Wars in a playful, fun way. His battle versus Darth Maul was awesome. I loved it. Loved it.
You guys know how I would write it. I mean, I needed I needed closure. I'm sorry, Rebels fans, Ahsoka lovers. I needed Ahsoka to go in that episode.
Well, my point
if I could write it, that's what it would be.
My point about it is, like, okay, so you introduce Ahsoka in Clone Wars, and I don't know about you guys, but the entire time in Clone Wars, I'm just sitting there thinking, oh, this poor character has to die before episode 3. Okay? Well, they don't kill her off. They have her leave the Jedi Order, and they leave that loose end out there. And you just think, oh, well, I guess that's never going to get tied up. Then they bring her back in Rebels, and you think, oh, okay, Ahsoka and Vader in the same show together. It's clear how this loose end should be tied up. That's how it should have been tied up. If they bring her back in season 3, which I don't think they will, and have her face Vader again for her to die, then the emotional impact to me is gone. The time, you know what I'm saying? Right. The time for that to have emotional impact was on this episode.
The time. That was the time.
So
you had the climax. It was set up. It was right there in front of you. You can't hype that up and build it up again. It was done.
You can't. It's done. You've lost the momentum. Like if she comes back and fights Vader again and he kills her, like who gives a fuck? Almost. You know what I mean?
Wow.
And
what a great point.
He said in some interviews that don't expect Ahsoka's storyline to be tied up anytime soon, which that's why I say no Ahsoka next season.
Do you guys think it's possible that he makes sure that she stays alive throughout the finale episode of the series, and then Marvel takes over, and then we see an Ahsoka Marvel, and she we see her croak in that?
That is the only way to kill Ahsoka to me is on screen. She's a character that was born in the animated universe and has defined, in my opinion, the Star Wars animated universe through Clone Wars especially, and then on to Rebels. The proper way to kill her is in one of those shows.
It's got to be Vader. If
you do it in a book, in a comic, in a video game, in a fucking shadow puppet show, it's not going to be anywhere as near as emotional or as impactful as it should be.
And it's got to be Vader that does it.
Right.
I agree, but they fucked it.
One last thing on that Rebels episode that I don't think any other podcast caught. So this is breaking news. Hawes, give me a little breaking news music right here. Hopefully you'll edit in some real shit. Okay. That's what that. All right. In the beginning of the episode, Ahsoka, when she's talking to Rex, I believe, says something along the lines of, there is some truth to legends. is she subliminally telling us that Legends, which is now the formerly expanded universe,
Yep.
is she or is Filoni telling us that there is still some truth to the expanded universe?
Grand
that is a
Admiral Thrawn,
clue?
baby.
That is a guys. This is my breaking news. But yes,
We're excited. We're excited.
Grand Admiral Thrawn. Is that a clue, guys? What do
I
you think?
so. I think so.
I would love it.
You want a little more evidence to that?
Yeah.
Once again, like I said, I've been reading some interviews. Dave Filoni specifically said that in next season they're going to be doing something that longtime Star Wars fans are going to be excited about. And knowing that rumor that Thrawn is going to be the villain of season 3, that's immediately what I thought he was talking about. And he said, we'll hear more about it at Celebration this year. I guarantee you we get a season 3 trailer at Celebration, because that's not that long before season 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I almost guarantee you the big reveal will be Grand Admiral Thrawn. I could almost bet money on it at this point.
Yeah, because when... Go ahead, Mike.
I just said I jizz in my pants.
Yeah, because when I heard that line, when she said there's some truth to, it was something along the lines of there's truth in Legends. I was like, Legends, that's what they call expanded universe now. Expanded universe. That's where Thrawn is. Oh my God, Thrawn is coming. Thrawn is coming.
All right, cut the chatter.
And our next segment, Star Wars news with Mikey. Mikey, what do we got, Mike?
The obvious news is Star Wars The Force Awakens comes home to the couch. Digital HD came out on Friday, and the Blu-ray actually comes out on Tuesday, April 5th. I'm super excited for it. Johnny, did you get it? Did you pre-order it?
No, I'm going to get it on DVD.
Nice. Hawes, how about you?
Yeah, I picked it up on digital on Friday, and I'm also picking it up on Blu-ray because I'm a fucking sucker.
Double dip.
Nice.
But
double penetration.
Yeah,
oh boy,
I dig it
taking
so far.
It twice. Did you watch the any of the deleted scenes or the what's that, the documentary, the cinematic journey?
Yeah, I watched it all. The one thing I'll say that kind of sucks though, I got it off of Amazon, and the thing that sucks about that is they put it all in one file. So instead of it being the movie is separate, then the documentary is separate, and the deleted scenes and all that, it's one like 4.5 hour long video file. So, like, when I first got it, I was like, well, I'm going to watch the documentary right away. You have to fast forward 2 hours, 20 minutes or whatever to the end of the credits so you can watch the documentary. It's a pain in the ass.
That's so annoying.
Yeah.
I would think they'd package that like it's a season. When you buy a season on Amazon, like for Rebels or something, they give you a package and then it's individual files, video files. Well, episode 1, episode 2. Nobody wants to watch a season in one sitting where you'd have to literally go through one episode to the next, etc. That must have been super annoying. Did you watch the you did watch everything then?
Yeah, and I dig it for the most part. The documentary I thought was really well done. It could have been a little longer and a little more detailed. I would have liked to see more stuff about sort of where the story was heading while Michael Arndt was writing. And obviously there's nothing about Harrison Ford's accident on set, which doesn't really surprise me considering there's that whole lawsuit going on with that whole thing. The deleted scenes are cool. There's nothing in there that's really, that I wish had actually been in the movie. The closest thing would be the Kylo on the Millennium Falcon scene. And then the other featurettes just seem like, I don't know, maybe they should have just been incorporated into the documentary to make it longer because they're done in the same style. They're interesting. There's nothing wrong with them, but I would have rather just have seen them incorporated into a longer documentary. It seems like it seems like they cut out certain segments. Like they were like, well, let's take all the BB-8 stuff and put it into one thing so we can say, well, here's a BB-8 featurette. You know what I mean?
They're trying to make it look like there's more than there is.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to know what the best, Empire of Dreams aside, because I don't think that was a Lucasfilm thing, the best DVD extras, Phantom Menace.
Phantom Menace, it was called The Beginning, I believe.
Yep.
I think it was called The Beginning. It was great. What was it, like 2 hours?
Yeah, and it literally starts the day George Lucas started writing The Phantom Menace.
I love that. I also remember a scene where he brings Spielberg onto the set at the studio.
Yeah.
And he's got like battle droids and stuff.
Yep.
And he's showing Spielberg the battle droids.
watch it again and look at Spielberg's face. It's a fake smile, and he goes, "What? This is the new Stormtrooper."
Yeah.
Like, you can tell he's disappointed. Everyone at home, check that out. Look at Spielberg's face. It's a fake smile. You can tell because his cheeks are up, but his eyes aren't smiling. It's like a jack-o'-lantern grin, dude. Like, you can tell he's like, this is pretty dumb.
I think he's just bitter that he wasn't part of that.
Johnny.
Oh, turn it down.
Johnny is a.
Did he really turn that down?
He turned down, like, what did he turn down, Hawes? He turned down Empire,
No,
Return of the Jedi, and Phantom Menace.
For sure, he turned down Return of the Jedi. I don't know about the other ones, but for sure, Return of the Jedi.
Dude, Phantom Menace he turned down.
I wouldn't be surprised. Well, I remember hearing not too long ago that Ron Howard said at one point George Lucas offered him the opportunity to direct the Phantom Menace. So that's interesting.
So I think we all know what's going to happen is they're going to probably re-release this in a 3D release when they have some more time to edit and build some more documentary footage out. And hopefully by the end of the year, I mean, it's Disney triple dipping already in the first year. We'll get more of those deleted scenes, some more behind the scenes coverage. Like, I know, for instance, I was really looking forward to seeing Unkar Plutt in Maz's castle because I know he was supposed to be there. And there was like a scene where Chewie kind of like rips his arms off or something really cool. And I guess they're, the real good stuff, they're going to hold that out for when they do their huge Star Wars push where we start buying everything within a month. We spend all this money on figures from Force Friday to the release of Rogue One. And that's just how it's going to work, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I think something to keep in mind is we're getting this on Blu-ray really quick. It's not even 4 full months since the movie came out. So I wonder how much of that has to do with, the amount of content that we're getting as far as extras and stuff go. And then, obviously they're definitely holding stuff back for further releases, whether it be the 3D Blu-ray release that they said's coming later this year or like a sequel trilogy box set after all 3 of them are out.
And I'm going to be the guy that's going to buy it.
Yeah, me too.
Again.
Me too.
Again.
I can't stand 3D. I think it's a waste.
Yeah, I'm not really interested in the. I think I'll probably wait until the box set. I don't see myself rebuying The Force Awakens again this year on 3D because I don't have a 3D TV, and although I'm planning on upgrading my TV soon, I don't think I'm going to bother with 3D. It's okay to catch a 3D movie at the theater every now and then, but I'm not necessarily interested in watching movies in 3D at the house.
Yeah, I think it's a gimmick that I don't see a lot of people talking about. My friends are buying Blu-rays and watching films at home on demand. No one's really talking about watching anything in 3D. I think it's just a gimmick, and it's going to pass by. I don't even think most of the 4K TVs come with 3D anymore. I'm not sure, but I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't really know. I haven't started doing my research.
Yeah, dead. I think it. If it's not dead now, it's dying.
Right.
Fad.
Yeah.
At least at home. They still make them, obviously, for theaters. Obviously.
All right, so I think we should move along. We got a lot of news to cover here. Another thing I wanted to mention, Ewan McGregor was actually interviewed by Collider this week, and the notion of him reprising his role as good old Obi-Wan Kenobi was brought up. McGregor was smiling ear to ear when Collider asked him this question, and his quote was, "I'm not sure I'm at liberty to say, really, but I'm very interested in doing that. That would be great. Maybe there's even a trilogy." He mentions that he did speak with Kathleen Kennedy briefly about it. I don't think he didn't confirm it, but I think he made it clear enough by the facial expressions he was making and the enthusiasm he showed. And Johnny, his smile on this guy's face was you can tell that Ewan would love to come back and play Obi-Wan Kenobi again. I think he would love it even more so to know, and no offense to Uncle George, but I remember hearing the aftermath of the prequels where they really didn't appreciate being green screen the whole entire job for all 3 films. I know there was some on-location stuff. We can get into that. That's for a whole other podcast. But I think that the idea of practical effects being more so a part of this trilogy means they move forward in that direction, hopefully, with the standalones. So I think he's totally on board with that. He probably absolutely loves what JJ and Kathleen has done so far. And I know, Johnny, I know you're dying to see Obi-Wan come back and hopefully kick Maul's ass on the screen.
Yep, you know me, my friend. You know me. I think Ewan McGregor's career kind of stalled. He's not as hot as he was in the late 90s, early 2000s. He can use a career shot in the arm that Star Wars can provide. I'm sure he wants to work with these talented new artists, producers, directors that Lucasfilm is hiring. He sees what J.J. Abrams did, and he's like, oh, man, like, I need to be a part of that. The fans want it. He wants it. I think it's going to happen.
I think they
Pause,
would
what do
be.
you think?
Yeah, I think they would be fools not to take him up on his willingness to come back. If the guy is willing, why not? If you can come up with a good story and make it fit into that timeline in a reasonable way, then I'm all for it. I think he's probably the best part of the prequels, in my opinion. His performance as Obi-Wan. And Obi-Wan's one of my favorite characters, period. So, of course, I'm all about it.
Hawes, scale of 1 to 10. Scale of 1 to 10. That our third standalone movie is called Kenobi.
I think it might be past the third. I think it may be a little further past that. It really just depends on how likely the rumor is that the Josh Trank spinoff movie was going to be a Boba Fett movie that they pushed back because of him being asked to leave the project or leaving the project, whatever the fuck happened. So if that's still in the cards and they're still planning on that being the third, then I could see maybe Kenobi being the one after that. But who knows at this point?
I think...
Sorry, Johnny. I just want to say, and then I'm sure you're going to have a response to this. He does mention maybe even a trilogy.
Right.
Is that something that you think they'd even consider? Do we need 3 Obi-Wan Kenobi movies is my question, Johnny.
No. I think you start with one, and if it makes $800 million, yeah, fuck yeah, you make another one. But I think you start with one. You don't announce it as part of a trilogy. And I also think the Boba Fett film is a waste because you can make him be the villain in the Han Solo standalone.
Yeah.
And you get your Boba Fett film. Just think of The Dark Knight. You know, you've got Batman, you got the Joker. You know, the Joker is developed. The Joker has his own story going on. Boba Fett can have his own story going on. You know, it can work. You don't need a Boba Fett film, especially if he's going to be in the helmet the whole time. That's going to be hard to like follow and connect with.
Who do you cast as Boba Fett in the Han Solo standalone? Do you cast young Boba Fett from Episode 2? What was his name?
Daniel Logan? No,
Daniel Logan.
No, you get a real actor, someone with talent. You don't get the other guy either. What's his name? The Maoki, the
Maori.
Who played Boba Fett?
Tamora Morrison.
Yeah, you do not get Tamora Morrison either. You do not get either one of those guys.
I think you get a really badass stunt man, especially if he's going to be in the suit the whole time. You put like Tony Jaa in the Boba Fett suit, and then you know, for continuity purposes, I would like to see them go with Tamora Morrison doing at least the voice. But if they decided to go in another direction, long as he gets close to sounding like that, so it, you know, it's for continuity purposes. That's
who did the clone trooper voices in the Clone Wars?
D. Bradley Baker.
I'd go with that guy for the voice.
That wouldn't be bad.
If they leave the helmet on, I'm okay with Tamora Morrison doing the voice. If they take the helmet off and we're gonna have to see acting, I need a real actor. I'm sorry.
I gotcha.
That guy was not good.
Where do you guys think a Boba Fett movie would be set if they do a Boba Fett standalone movie?
Oh, Tatooine around Jabba.
I know, but do you think it would be set, say, before the original trilogy or after Return of the Jedi? That's what I mean, in the timeline.
Well, you can use them in the Han Solo standalone.
Obviously.
But if he was going to have his own movie, I would say between 6 and 7.
I think that's
show
where
him. The movie starts with him getting out of Sarlacc. Yeah, we're on the same page.
Yeah, that's what I would want. Just because finally I would be like, look, see, Boba Fett's alive, guys. It's over.
And for those of you people that are like thinking that I'm hating on Tamora Morrison, the man's not a good actor. All right. And I don't need to argue anything with you, but I can tell you that the biggest breakthrough in his career happened in 2002, and he hasn't done dick since. And in case you're wondering what your calendar says, it says 2016. So if the man's so good, what's he been up to for 14 years?
He was on that show, Spartacus.
Yeah, he did great. I loved it. Not.
Well, we'll have to see if we get any news about Obi-Wan in the next, I'd say, 6 to 12 months. I don't think we'll get, if anything. I mean, Hawes thinks it'd be after the third standalone. I personally think if we get an Obi-Wan movie, it could be the third. I know there's rumors about the Boba Fett standalone, but I think they would go with a Kenobi. So we'll have to wait and see. What else for news? Oh, sad news, guys. I just got this in, actually. I saw this on my feed from Star Wars Underworld. Eric Borisfeld, who did the voice of Bib Fortuna and Admiral Akbar in Return of the Jedi and also voiced Akbar again, reprised his role in The Force Awakens, actually just passed away yesterday. He's in 2 installments. He's a beloved guy, worked for Lucasfilm for a very long time, and it's really, really sad. I shouldn't even be thinking this because it's really not of importance, but Akbar is going to probably be back in 8, and they're going to have to find someone to replace him, the guy who really created the character and left one of the most famous lines, if not the most famous line in Star Wars history.
Hawes, hit me with that line and a couple other ones in memory of our man.
You got it.
It's a trap. They were no wonder. Our cruisers can't repel firepower of that magnitude.
Awesome.
And boys, that's all for news this week.
I do not read. Mikey, where are we at with the reading?
Wow. So I picked up Vader 18. Are you guys, Hawes, are you caught up with the Vader series?
I have to make a confession. The dude at the comic book store here in town is probably so pissed at me because I have not picked up my comics in a little while. They kind of lost me.
Yeah, and it lost me too. I just caught up last week, and I pretty much stopped because it started to lose me at around episode 13, episode 14. So I could get into it. I don't know how deep you want me to go in with this, Johnny, but basically, right now there's a planet called Shotorun. They have very rich minerals and ores that the Empire really wants to be a part of, obviously, for reasons for fuel and obviously economic reasons as well. So
if I may just cut you off real quick.
Yeah.
As far as in depth, basically,
what do you need to know?
Yeah, that's my man.
Absolutely nothing.
What does Johnny Grasso and people like myself who do not read need to know canon-wise in order to enjoy the Clone Wars, Rebels, and the films?
So the only other comic I believe came out last week, and I double-checked, was Vader 18, and nothing new that we really need to know besides them just kind of like struggling on this storyline of the Empire taking over another planet. The last 2 things that were really relevant to, I'd say, to Star Wars fans at all in Marvel Comics were, one, when Vader actually finds out that Luke is his son, which is also in the Darth Vader comic series, and 2, which is, I think, issue number 10, is when he sends Dr. Aphra to Naboo and meets the morticianer, if you will, and who took care of Padme before the funeral service, and basically admits to Dr. Aphra that Padme was not still pregnant when she was buried. And that's when Vader finds out that he really does have a son, and Luke is his offspring, if you will. Other than that, the last 8 episodes they're just kind of like, I don't want to use the word filler, but I think Marvel's just really trying to find engaging storyline format to keep us engaged, and it hasn't really worked so far. I'm hoping that it comes together in the next few issues and it goes back to Vader and Luke and the dynamics between them, and we see them kind of square off. But that's it, man. That's pretty much it.
At least it's something. I mean, shit. We've gone so long with nothing. At least there's something there.
What about they announced an Ahsoka book this week? Is that something that might actually get you to read a book, Johnny? Is the Ahsoka book they announced this week?
No, if Lords of the Sith didn't get me to read a book, nothing will.
Fair enough.
So I actually haven't read Lost Stars yet, Hawes, and I'm hoping to pick it up on vacation too. So I'll let you know when I get back.
Right on. Yeah, it's another what they're calling young adult novel, a YA novel, kind of like Lost Stars, but it's written by this. I can't remember the author's name, but it's not the same lady who wrote Lost Stars. That's right.
It's not Claudia Gray.
No, it's not Claudia Gray.
Okay.
So
and that's pretty much it for Johnny's I Do Not Read, and what he needs to know, and what all of us other Star Wars fans need to know. Bloodline still coming out May 4th. Super excited for that. Again, that's another Claudia Gray book. We talked about it last week. We don't need to dig too much into it. And that's it.
All right. Awesome. Thank you, buddy. All right, next up, we're going to check out my voicemails. We got a fun one today. Got a fun voicemail today. It's actually from I don't want to brag, but I got connections in Hollywood, from the Nickelodeon days. And I'm just gonna stop talking about it and let's go ahead and play the voicemail. Hello, Johnny. Teron Edgerton here. Wanted to drop you a line and thank you for all your support. Heard you were the first one to suggest me for Star Wars Han Solo. Although, it's not in the bag yet. I feel good about it. I do. I understand there are criticisms afoot, yeah? I can understand. They think I can't do an American accent. Well, cheers. Been working hard on my flat, Been watching YouTube videos, learning it and all. Actually, there's a chap who does a good impersonation, yeah? Been looking over that one some. Chap named, oh gosh, I forgot. What's his name? Ingruba. Yeah. Been watching this Ingruba on YouTube. So I guess, when I get the part of Han Solo, I'll have Ingruba to thank a little bit, I mean, thank goodness he worked on his impersonations, not his acting lessons. Or I'd be in trouble, All right, Johnny. Good luck with the podcast. See you at the pub. Cheers. That's my guy. Mikey, what do you think?
You talking to me?
Yeah, you're Mikey.
He's so blown away that Taron Edgerton called you that he's silent. He can't process it.
That was incredible. I can't believe you know him. You guys are friends?
I wouldn't say friends.
Are you guys maybe distantly related or something? I don't know. I get this. There's something about you guys' voice. It's like a familiarity. Is he like? Did you guys get separated at birth? And
he's the American. Johnny's the American version.
He's a great charismatic dude, man. And what did you think about how he's learning his accent, Hawes?
I mean, we know how you feel about Ingruber, and I don't know, man. I guess if I had to learn an accent, maybe I would go to YouTube. I'm terrible at accents.
I think he's going to crush it. I think he's going to do a great job. The kid's very, very talented. We all know how he can impersonate Harrison, and I don't think there's a better choice, in my opinion, for anybody to touch Han Solo.
Then Taron Egerton?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. Did you see Kingsman yet?
It's on the list, Johnny. I promise.
Telling you. Text me.
See if you can't watch it on your flight.
That's a good idea. It's actually a great idea. I'll cue it up.
Where are you going on vacation?
Going to the Bahamas.
Nice.
Yeah.
Which island specifically?
Just me and the lady. We're going to Paradise Island.
Nice.
And what, dude? Your lady is gorgeous. What's her name again?
Jennifer.
Jennifer, if you're listening, Mike is a great guy. Take care of him.
She will be listening. She actually hasn't seen. Oh, here we go. She actually hasn't seen any Star Wars films yet. We're working on it.
No, that's awesome because you get to live vicariously through her. Now, oh my God, all right. Side topic. Segue.
Yep.
How are you going to show them to her, bud? Are you going to go 1 through 6, or 1 through 7, or are you going to go? Oh wow! How do you do it now?
That's why I'm really excited. We had the conversation last night. We were going to watch The Force Awakens last night, actually, but we wound up not because we got home late. But I think I'm going to start just because I've never seen anybody watch it in this order before, and I want to know what her reaction's going to be and how she feels about everything. So I think we're going to start with 7, and then after 7, do machete order. And then figure out how to throw Phantom Menace in maybe right after Machete Order, show her Phantom Menace when she becomes a really big fan, which I'm pretty sure she will be. So
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah, then it's my turn.
So the first time I heard of the Machete Order, I decided to give it a try. You know what I'm saying? And I do like the concept of turning the prequels into almost a flashback after Empire. You know what I mean? Like
right.
You get the reveal that Vader is Luke's father, and then you sort of go into a flashback, for lack of a better term, that fills in the history of how Anakin Skywalker became Vader.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually prefer the Machete Order where you include the Phantom Menace, where it's 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, Jedi. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, originally I thought that would be the way to go, but then I thought maybe cutting out that 2 hours of Jar Jar and Phantom Menace, no matter how much I still love Darth Maul and I love the end battle, I thought maybe that'd be better, but uh, maybe, you know what, Hawes, maybe it'll do like a game time decision. We'll see how she feels after Empire,
Right.
and then if she's super, super psyched, maybe I'll let her do it, but if she's kind of like, then we'll hop right into Clones, but hopefully she'll be psyched. We'll watch them all. So this is going to be the first person I've known will be my own girlfriend to see The Force Awakens before she's seen any other Star Wars film, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I don't know if I agree with your order. I mean, I would definitely just to piggyback on Hawes real quick, I would never cut out the Phantom Menace for two reasons. Number one, I actually like the movie. Now, does it rate, number 6, 7-ish, of how I rank the Star Wars films? Yeah, but I mean, I think Hawes said it before. I'd still rather watch the Phantom Menace: Attack of Clones over than a Terminator movie or a Godfather movie, even. Especially Godfather 3.
I think if you cut out a Phantom Menace, you kind of do a disservice to the character of Padme, because she's kind of badass, especially when she starts taking charge and the final battle and stuff. Like she helps take back that Naboo palace. You know what I'm saying?
She had some help from badass Captain Panaka.
Well, yeah,
right?
I mean, she had her crew with her. I mean, you always want to go in with your friends, but I think you're sort of doing a disservice to her character development and some of her, more badass actions in the series. Because unfortunately, she does not do a whole lot in 3.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying she's pregnant in 3, so it's hard for her to do too much.
I definitely wouldn't cut out the Phantom Menace because I really like it. I don't know how dumb is Panaka for turning down Attack of the Clones and trying to get more money out of Lucas.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
Is that what happened? I never really knew.
Yeah. You wanted a raise, and Lucas was like, "You're replaceable, buddy. No one even knows your name. Bye."
You sound like that breath spray, Banaka.
Yeah.
So, Johnny, why do you think? Why do you disagree with showing 7 first before anything else?
Oh yeah. I would go. Me personally, I would go 4, 5, 6, 7, and then once they're in love and they want more, I would go 1, 2, 3. I definitely wouldn't go 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 7. I wouldn't go in the order they came out, but I don't know if I'd start with 7.
So you're saying you would go 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 7?
No, I would go 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3. And here's why. If you show her 7 first, who's she going to fall in love with? Rey?
Everybody. Rey, Finn, Poe, everybody.
Finn,
Kylo,
Poe, Kylo, right? And then you're going to take them away from her. So I figure if you go with 4, 5, 6, she falls in love with Skywalker and Leia, and then it's like, all right, now we're fast forwarding 30 years. She's like, oh, cool. Then she gets the same effect that we do. You get introduced to new characters, but you still get the injection of Solo, Chewbacca, Leia, and then obviously Luke at the end.
I think you have a point, because think about how impactful the death of Han Solo was to us because of his role in the previous. You know what I'm saying? It might lessen the blow of Han dying if that's the first.
She might not even care,
right?
Matter of fact,
that's true, because she's not invested in the character yet.
Right. So get her invested in. Oh, and then again, piggybacking on Hawes, she won't care who Leia is when she shows up. Oh, there's a female general. Cool.
C-3PO.
That's how she's gonna look at it.
Yeah.
Chewbacca, she won't care. She's gonna be like, "What's that?"
That's
Luke Skywalker at the end is gonna make her angry. Where the little boys and girls inside of us all saw Luke at the end, where we were jumping out of our skin. She's gonna be like, "Okay, who's that?"
Personally, my fiance had never seen an entire Star Wars movie when we started dating, and when the time came when I knew she was fine with me being such a rabid Star Wars fan, I showed them to her chronologically, just because Vader being Luke's father is one of those things that it's not a surprise to anyone anymore, except for maybe kids. But, a grown person who has been immersed in pop culture already knows that. So it's not like you really ruin that surprise for them of finding out that twist. So I just showed them to her in chronological order. But that was, that's how I went with it.
So
And
after
did she
this,
like it?
go ahead, John.
Oh, I was just asking if Jesse liked them.
She does. She's actually more of a fan of the animated stuff. She really liked The Force Awakens. She says she really likes Empire, but I think that's because she knows it's my favorite, and she's just trying to, back me up a little bit. But she'll watch them. She's not down to watch them as much as I do. So when I do like a Star Wars marathon, I wait for a day that she's going to be like working all day, and I'm at home, just because I don't want to have to subject her to like 14 hours of Star Wars.
So here's
Michael.
what I'm thinking after this conversation. I'm
Go ahead,
thinking,
my man.
I'm thinking 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 6, 7.
Okay, I like it.
All right, yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
Modified
And then if she's
machete.
in love, you're gonna throw her the Phantom Menace.
I'm throwing it in. If she loves it, we're throwing it in.
That's fine. I understand that 100%. All right, it is now time for Dude, fuck that guy. After much deliberation, and there was a lot of you people out there that could have been the centerpiece of our now most popular segment. Dude, fuck that guy. We have Neil deGrasse Tyson. Neil deGrasse Tyson, dude, fuck that guy. Mikey, tell us what he said lately.
Neil deGrasse Tyson is an astrophysicist. It was a very, very successful podcast. He's also on Science. Not what am I saying here? He's on Science Channel. No, it is a Science Channel. He had a bunch of tweets when Force Awakens came out back in December. Since we started this podcast, obviously at the end of March and not in December, we're gonna go back a little bit and find. Dude, fuck that guy's from December. So Neil deGrasse Tyson, let me read some of your quotes, your tweets here, and then I'll let the boys elaborate.
Real quick, I'd just like to say that I think it's hilarious that we're going after literally one of the smartest people in the world.
That's perfect. That's perfect
Right?
for us. It makes total sense. Well, he doesn't look. At the end of the day, Star Wars is fantasy. It's great storytelling. We don't need people to kill our imaginations with them being so literal about anything. I don't care if you're Stephen Hawking or if you're Slosh from the Goonies. I don't care. Hawes, please put some sound effects in there. So let's read some of his tweets. Let's go.
If I may, before you read those, if
Yeah.
I may borrow one of my favorite lines from one of my favorite movies, Good Will Hunting. Neil deGrasse Tyson, there's nothing I can learn from you that I can't read out of a fucking book. So I'm not intimidated by your fucking PhDs.
Uh-oh.
So Neil deGrasse Tyson, tweet number 1. The TIE fighters made the exact same sound in the vacuum of space as in planetary atmospheres. Blasphemy. Neil deGrasse Tyson, tweet number 2. If you were to suck all of a star's energy into your own planet would vaporize. Neil deGrasse Tyson, tweet number 3. The energy in a star is enough to destroy 10,000 planets, not just a few here and there. My last one, Neil deGrasse Tyson, tweet number 4. Once again, I feel isolated and inadequate watching for not understanding Wookiee speak. Johnny, I'll let you take it away from there.
It's a fucking movie, douche. It's a movie. It's called science fiction. It's not science nonfiction. Neil, take a step back, okay? Get your fucking head out of Google. Get your fucking pen away from paper and think about it as an entertainment viewer watcher, even an entertainment writer. What are you fucking doing, guy? What are you doing? Then I want you, if that's the stand you want to take, Neil. Oh, sorry, Dr. Neil. Okay? All right, I now want you to take apart every nursery rhyme. Okay? Guess what? Mother Goose, not real. Goose can't lay golden eggs. Humpty Dumpty fell off a wall. You're not putting them back together again, okay? It's physically impossible. Where were you on that, Neil? Where the fuck were you on that? And you know what? And all the shit you want to bring up, all the stupid shit you want to bring up, you don't even bring up the lightsaber. How do they make it stop? How do they make it stop, Neil? You don't want to bring that up? You know what? You want to fucking help out humanity with your fucking 3 PhDs, your Harvard education, your Columbia doctorate, bitch? Why don't you figure out how to make a fucking lightsaber and help me out?
I can just
Dude,
imagine
fuck that guy.
I can just imagine that Neil deGrasse Tyson is one of the worst people in the world to go see a movie with. Like you're like, yeah, I want to go see the new Star Wars, and Neil deGrasse Tyson's like, well, I'd like to come along. Fuck, no, because just the whole time he's going to be like, oh, I wouldn't do that. You know why the spaceships make sound in space and explosions make sound in space?
Because it's fucking cool.
That's exactly it. Because it's badass. Mike's dog agrees.
Yeah, Jackson's loving this segment right now.
All right, and you know what, Neil? Like, I really don't want to fucking compare brain pans with you because you'll win. But, like, I've actually read some of your shit, okay? And you can't prove any of your theories. You can't. You can't. Like, I've read your one universe at home in the cosmos. You can't. It's all theoretical. So I'm calling you on your shit. You want to call Lucasfilm on their shit? I'm calling you on your shit. Where's your empirical evidence, son? You want to write books about theoretical physics in space, in the cosmos, in the universe? Where's your proof? It's all theory. You don't even have the mathematical knowledge to back that shit up. And that's why you're not Albert Einstein. Everything fucking Albert Einstein has ever said, he mathematically backed up. Where's your math, Neil? Where's your math?
Boom.
Fucking two master's degrees, and I podcast like an angry man, bitch.
Pause. There's the Grasso effect.
Boom, 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 boom. I think we adequately fucked that guy.
Dude, fuck that guy.
Yeah, we fucked one of the smartest people in the world. It's great for our second episode.
Like, for real, like, either fucking build me a lightsaber with all of your goddamn knowledge and degrees, or back the fuck up off Star Wars. Attack Star Trek. That shit's ridiculous.
Give me some fucking robot legs, Neil. Help me out.
Oh, you just made me all. No, I'm not angry anymore. Now I want to hug Hawes.
Yeah, well, we had to segue out of dude. Fuck that guy somehow. Had to
I know,
calm
dude,
you down.
Like, Hawes, I have so much love for Hawes. Like, I just the anger just melted and just melted away. Matter of fact, that brings us to our next segment, Collecting with Hawes.
All right.
Gentlemen, Hawes.
For Collecting with Hawes this week. So, last week, or last episode, we talked about the Black Series, and I sort of brought up how we got a Zuvio Black Series and how I felt like that was an inadequate use of
Plastic.
a plastic and a spot in a wave. Like you get, in each wave, there's somewhere, depending on if they repack figures, 3 to 5 figures in a wave. You know what I'm saying? I was going to do like a quick top 5 list of Black Series figures that they haven't done, just to sort of highlight how ridiculous it is that we got a Zuvio Black Series figure or a Guavian Death Guard Black Series figure. Although I think that's a badass design. I think that's a cool looking character design. I don't really know that it qualifies for a Black Series, at least not yet. So I'll do these real quick, and then I'll just let you guys comment and see if there's any that you can think of that they haven't done, if you're familiar with them or not.
Mm-hmm.
So first up, Lando. There's not a single Lando Calrissian Black Series figure.
I love Lando.
And, really you have 2 options for Lando, in my opinion. You go Cloud City Lando or Lando in his disguise at Jabba's palace.
Oh, best been Cloud City Lando for sure. Give me that fucking blue cape, bro.
That fucking cape, man, and the ballin' mustache.
If Johnny Grosso was a Star Wars character, let's be real, it would fucking be Lando.
Yeah. Number 2, and this one, once again, makes no sense to me, Ben Kenobi. Old Ben Kenobi from Episode 4. A New Hope. As of right now, the only Obi-Wan figure they've done in a Black Series is from Episode 3.
Right.
So to me,
Gotta have Old Man Ben.
Right?
He was close.
He was
the fan choice, right? He came close, Hawes.
I don't know that. I don't think he came all that close because they did that voting, and there was a lot of options. And just off the top of my head, I believe it was Revan, Sabine, Snow Trooper, Ben Kenobi, and AT-AT Driver, and they have announced all of those, even the ones that didn't win the votes, except for Ben, except for Obi-Wan. So I think you're missing an opportunity. Maybe that character is not as loved as I think it is.
I think he put Alec Guinness. That is, I think he made Star Wars real. Like he got nominated for an Oscar, for an acting Oscar.
Did he really?
For playing?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, and he lost, but he was so good at that. I mean, listen, I've said it before. When that part comes on, when Alec Guinness is talking to Mark Hamill about the Force, I stop what I'm doing, and it's like I'm hearing it for the first time. I don't know if it's a combination of George Lucas's writing and Alec Guinness's acting, but I'm just sucked in. And every time I hear that speech about the Force, I'm like 5 years old again.
Right.
And it's Alec Guinness, dude. He put so much. The word I'm looking for is validity. He put so much validity into Star Wars, and I think the fact that his name was on it made so many people take it seriously. Otherwise, it would have been thrown away as like a cheesy sci-fi movie. Mm-hmm. But when they were like, "Oh my God, Alex Guinness is in it," they're like, "This must be a little different than your average sci-fi movie." And I think that was Lucas's intention when he cast Sir Alec Guinness.
Yeah, I think you're right.
He does have a pop, though. I recently got it, and I'll be giving it away eventually down the road.
Unfortunately, not signed by Alec Guinness.
No.
Hey, Hawes, what about a ghost old Obi-Wan Kenobi Black Series?
To me, you almost fall into that weird, mid-'90s, late '90s Kenner/Hasbro thing with the ghost figures. They were never appealing to me, the sort of see-through blue plastic. Like, I would just prefer to have the character as normal.
Right.
If they were to do an old Ben Kenobi, I would almost guarantee that you would see like a Walgreens exclusive Spirit Obi-Wan Kenobi or something like that. They've been getting into a lot of retailer exclusive variants. A good example of that would be Emperor's Wrath Vader, which was a Walgreens exclusive, and it's just Vader with a see-through helmet, and it's supposed to represent, when he's getting shocked by the Emperor at the end of Return of the Jedi. So I could see them doing something like that.
So basically, they take the main mold, they make the main figure, and that's obviously broad reach for everybody.
Right.
And then for the exclusive, the Toys R Us exclusives, that stuff, they'll make the variants, which would be like a ghost.
Right, or like they did with the Toys R Us exclusive for The Force Awakens. They did a Snow Trooper Commander, which is just the regular Snow Trooper with a red pauldron. That's the only difference. And, it drives me crazy that I can't find that one. And the only difference from the regular Snow Trooper is he's got a fucking one extra piece of colored plastic.
I'm gonna go off the mark here of like iconic characters, beloved characters that they haven't done. What about an Episode 3 General Grievous? Only because
that's on my list.
It can be so articulated. There's so many pieces to it. It can be so detailed. You can even have the cloak with like the little place to put all the lightsaber hilts within his cloak. And I thought that would be a really cool figure.
That was actually next on my list. You read my mind.
Awesome.
Now, the thing about that is I don't think they could do that for the regular $20 price point. That would go ahead.
I'm sorry. Let me interject. The Disney Elite series did a General Grievous figure. They kept it at the same price point as the other ones, and now it is the hardest to find Disney Elite series figure. It's going on eBay for close to $200,
and it's impressive.
Wait a second, Johnny.
Yeah.
You and I went to go see the Star Wars exhibit at the Discovery Center together. I think we went to Disney, and that's the figure you were looking for.
Yes, sir.
I totally forgot, dude.
Still haven't found it.
Wow.
But to the reason why I cut Hawes off was two things. It is gorgeous the way they did it, and I think they can keep it in the same price point.
I gotcha.
because Disney did it.
I mean, they could, but they also do sort of the higher price point deluxe Black Series figures where like you get a Scout Trooper with the speeder bike, or Luke with a Wampa, or Jabba,
Rancor.
and they're like like $40 instead of 20. So I mean, if I could see them going that route if we were to ever get a Grievous.
If there's a listener out there that has a Luke and a Wampa Black Series that doesn't want it, I have PayPal. Just throwing it out there.
Oh, really? You're looking for that one?
Yeah, you know what? I realized Star Wars Card Trader did this vote. Who would you want to keep, the Rancor or the Wampa? And like you, Hawes, Empire's my favorite film, and I love the Wampa scene. The only part that makes me pull my hair out is Luke running out of the warm cave,
right,
into like a blizzard. I'm like, dude, you got him beat. Cut off his head. Just stay warm inside the cave. But he ran out. But whatever.
And then just real quickly, the other two I thought up for this list. I was talking about it earlier. I think you really need to maybe explore doing a Padme or an Amidala figure. Just because she's not represented. Prequel, as far as prequel characters go in the Black Series line, it's kind of lacking. We've gotten an Anakin, an Obi-Wan, and several variations of clone troopers and Darth Maul.
Yeah, there's not a Black Series, but I mean, for Christ's sake, the whole Phantom Menace merchandise line was built around like Padme dolls, Queen Amidala dolls. Like,
And
there's
Darth
tons
Maul.
of that shit out there, dude.
Yeah, but I could go for an episode 2 white tight outfit Padme Black Series figure.
Of course
go
you
for
go,
that.
Hornball. Little sexy
Just saying,
Padme.
I'm just saying.
Stripper Padme.
She was
I love it.
badass in that arena, dude.
She was. And last but not least, and this is just because it's a personal favorite character of mine, Qui-Gon. There's no Black Series Qui-Gon.
Oh, that would be great.
And
I love him.
I don't know what the possibility of us getting more prequel characters right now. It looks like for the foreseeable future, we're going to be getting a little bit of original trilogy stuff here and there, but mainly it looks like we're going to be getting, new movie stuff. Like the last few waves have been really heavy on Force Awakens, understandably, with a few characters here and there. Granted, they did just sort of release the Jango Fett Black Series, and so who knows? Maybe we could get some more of those prequel characters.
Yeah,
in the Black
I think
Series.
you're right. I wouldn't hold your breath because you got Rogue One coming out. They announced the next Force Friday is going to be heavy Rogue One Black Series figures. My unsung hero for Episode 7 is the Crimson Corsair. What's his name? Captain Athano?
Yeah.
I think he's my next Black Series hopeful. Meaning, I hope they come out with him. I would buy that. That guy's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, that is a kick-ass. I would have rather had him than Zuvio or the fucking Guavian Death Guard, to be honest.
The Guavian Death Guard. Oh God, are you guys going to listen to this? This is breaking news. Can I get another breaking news sound out of you, Hawes? Okay, hopefully again you'll edit real shit. I am reading a book, sort of. I am sort of reading a book.
Whoa.
I am reading the Art of Force Awakens book, which is 90% pictures.
Right.
Right. Thank you, Vader Nick. Again, that was a birthday present by Vader Nick. I can't thank you enough. You're my man. You're my man. And in that it says the what is he called again? The Guavian Death
Guard. Yeah.
Guard. He was one of the initial designs for Kylo Ren, which I learned in this book. So that's probably why they had a Black Series for him, because they probably kind of already started like the moldings and whatnot.
Yeah, you're probably right. From Force Awakens, I would like a Nyan Nub in his X-Wing outfit. I think that would be pretty kick-ass. I just like that character, though, so...
Yeah, that was my number 2. After Grievous, I would say 9 Nub.
Yeah. But, yeah, it's probably a line that's going to go on for quite a while. It's very popular. So there will be time, a chance for us to get that. I just think going forward with a movie coming out every year, we're going to see more... this year, Rogue One, next year, Episode 8, the year after, Young Han Solo. So I think, it's going to be harder for them to dedicate a slot to those sort of missing characters. We got to get a Lando eventually, though. That seems, to me, that's one of the biggest oversights.
Do you think he's going to be in Episode 8?
I mean, yeah, I hope. I think. I don't know.
I think he's in it. I think he's definitely in it 100%.
It just seems like they might have announced it by now with them filming and everything.
No,
It may be a small role, though. You know,
Yeah.
it may be a cameo, and they can literally wait to the last minute to announce that. We may get that at Celebration too, though.
You know, it may be a small role, but look how small Mark Hamill's role was in Seven, and they announced that. Granted,
But you're also introducing Mark as part of the trilogy. I feel like.
Yeah,
Well, maybe it
yeah.
wasn't solidified, but that's what we are all expecting.
yeah, I hear you. But yeah, that about does it for my collecting segment.
Why, you stuck-up, half-witted, scruffy-looking nerf herder.
Well, I think our next segment is, but I digress. We're going to digress from Star Wars for a couple minutes before we get into a ton of listener email. Basically, for those of you that know, I am not in a monogamous relationship. However, I am seeing the same girl often enough. I'll just say it like that, often enough. So again, ladies, if you're listening, the door is still open. I am not in a monogamous relationship. However, I am spending a lot of time. Hawes, you're engaged. Mike, you now have a gorgeous girlfriend. There's a couple relationship quirks that I'm starting to pick up on that I don't really enjoy too much. I wanted to share it with you, get some advice. What the fuck is up with them talking so much? Like, do women have a word quota they have to hit a day? Like, there's so much unnecessary conversation taking place in my life when this woman is around. You guys deal with that at all?
Hawes is engaged. I got to let him speak to that first.
I mean, I'm sort of a quiet guy. Sometimes I like to just sit and not say anything. I'm lucky in the fact that I just generally like to hear what my fiance has to say. So the talking too much thing is not an issue for me. Unless maybe I'm trying to watch Star Wars and she's like, "Oh my God, guess what Harry Potter did?" And I'll be like, I don't care what Harry Potter did. I'm watching Star Wars.
Shenanigans, I'm calling you on your shit. That is, I don't believe it. Dude, you're going to tell me this woman does not talk your ear off?
No.
Is she in the room? Jesse, are you in the kitchen?
Jesse. Johnny wants your opinion on something. I'm summoning
Bring her in.
my bride to be.
Can you put her on the mic? Can I talk to this beautiful girl?
Hold on. She's going to have to come get beside me so you can hear
Oh,
her.
Johnny, don't create any new enemies, please.
Yeah, we don't need my fiance leaving us a 1-star review.
Hey, how's it going?
Hi, Jesse. How you doing? This is Johnny Grosser from Rogue One, a Star Wars podcast. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Did you like how I did that all professional-like?
Very professional, yes.
Thank you.
Dharma.
So listen, right now we're talking about relationship quirks, and I'm complaining that the girl that I'm kind of not in a monogamous relationship with, but I kind of see her often enough where it's more than just your casual dating, but definitely not a relationship. Ladies,
Right.
again, I can't repeat that enough, not a monogamous relationship. But I'm starting to get those relationship quirks that start to bug me, pet peeves. Like this woman, for example, does not shut the fuck up. Is there a word quota that you ladies have to hit? Like, what is it with you girls and just talking our goddamn ears off?
So I'm gonna just answer your question and not take offense to that, but
Thank you.
I talk a lot at work, so I get it out of my system. I would say personally, but yeah, I think I like the sound of my own voice, as do probably most people. You don't talk a lot. I mean, you're on a podcast, like.
I am actually one of the quietest, most reserved people out there in person.
Okay.
I know that might be hard to believe. Mike hung out with me in New York a couple times. Mike, can you back me up on that?
Johnny's a lot more reserved. Excuse me.
Thank you.
He's a lot more reserved. He keeps a lot more to himself. He's a little more passive. But when he's protected by the digital technology of 2016, he's a little more pompous, I guess.
Well, we all
You know,
have
that's the
our
last- that's the
show
last time.
personality.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to ask Mike his opinion anymore.
But I'm just being honest. I think you wanted me to be honest.
No,
I wouldn't say that was
say
rude.
good things. All right, it's not about me. It's not about me. So Jesse. Okay, from a female perspective, why do most women, not you, love, why do most women tend to be so talkative? Oh, I'm not. No, Hawes said you weren't talkative. All right, how about this, Jesse? I can spin this shit. Do you have a friend who talks your ear off?
I mean, I think that probably most women talk a lot. I wouldn't say that I have one friend that talks a lot. I I think that maybe just this specific lady talks too much for you. Why don't you have you had this conversation with her?
Yeah, it goes. It goes. Would you please just shut the fuck up for 5 minutes?
That's hard.
That's usually how it goes. Yeah, but like I can pull it off though because she thinks I'm kidding. It's one of those half kid, half serious things. The way I deliver it, and she'll laugh and giggle, and I'll be like,
Well,
You want to know what
I
I
would say
think?
that's stereotyping to say all women, do that.
Jesse, you know what I think? I think that men and women both fall under a lot of stress this day and age with work and everything we have to deal with equally. I think that men express themselves and vent in different ways. Maybe not saying that women don't play sports and they don't go to the gym and they're not physical, but maybe men release steam in different ways, Johnny, and women just do it more vocally. Overall, not everybody, not every woman, not every man, but for the majority speaking, they're just more vocal about expressing their feelings and venting every day, getting home from work or dealing with any type of stressful situation. That's all.
I would say
Okay,
that's
Don't call
Dr.
bullshit
probably
on that because there's got to be some truth to that. You can't call bullshit on
no,
that.
no, no. I'm not gonna call bullshit on that. I'm sure there's some truth to that.
is
All right,
the
Jesse,
constant talking like gossip about work and people she knows and stuff like that.
No, useless.
Okay,
That's
then I
actually
don't
interesting to
understand.
me.
Because I
Like,
do that. I
just
come home and tell Huz all the gossip that he cares nothing about, but I still
like I
have to say
swear. Right, right. Like I swear, she feels the need for words to come out of her mouth in order for her to breathe properly. Sometimes it's just like breathing. There's just talk, 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 word, 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 talk, 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 talk.
it sounds like this is a interesting relationship that you found yourself to be in, or
I think it's all physical.
non-relationship.
Jesse, I think it's only a physical relationship.
I think it
That's
must
what I
be, honestly, because I listened to last week's episode and I heard you talk about this girl then as well. And yeah, it's fine to have I was actually thinking about writing in on this, but I'll just give you my opinion now. It's fine to have a friends with benefits type of relationship if that's what both people are in, but it sounds like it's a little deeper, maybe on both sides.
Whoa.
I'm sorry.
No.
She just took
That's-
the nuclear option.
Is it? I feel it's just me and you in the room, Jess. I feel for sure she wants more. I don't necessarily want more, but I enjoy her company enough where I'll keep calling her on a Friday. Like I'll call her on a Saturday. I'll see what she's doing if she wants to grab lunch on a Tuesday. I definitely enjoy her company, but I'm definitely not committing, and she knows I'm not committing. So we're kind of in that gray area. It's not black, it's not white. I'm kind of swimming in the gray. But she's pulling me to the black. She's pulling me to the darkness.
Is she older than 25?
I don't even know.
I would say if she's 25 or younger, then that's a hard, she's going to get committed. She's going to get attachment regardless of if she knows there's commitment or not, if it's a long-term thing. If she's older, she can probably look at it from a realist point of view, but young girls tend to fall harder.
Yeah, okay. Look at you dropping knowledge. Boom.
Sometimes you need the voice of a female to enlighten your brain, Johnny.
No, yeah, that's why we called her over.
Guys, I just had an epiphany. I literally just had an epiphany sitting here listening to you talk to my fiance. I know what your problem is, Johnny. Let your buddy Halls break it down for you. You got handsome fucker syndrome, right? What's handsome fucker syndrome? You're too handsome. You've had too much luck with the ladies. You get a fucking chud like me that has no luck with the ladies. I'll listen to Jesse talk all goddamn day just because I'm lucky to have a girlfriend.
Hawes, you know what though? I got handsome fucker syndrome, and I found a nice lady, and I love her.
We'll see, you know?
So there's that.
Sounds like Johnny just needs to let someone clip his wings.
I think those wings are unclippable. Johnny, here's the most important question we should all be asking about this woman.
Yeah.
Has she watched Star Wars with you? Has she watched Star Wars at all? And does she know what Star Wars is?
She's casual. She's seen Star Wars. She says she likes Star Wars. She has the average person's knowledge of Star Wars. She wore a couple sexy Star Wars outfits for me in the past month or two.
Jackpot.
Like cosplay or T-shirts?
No, T-shirts. If she cosplayed like something like the Captain Phasma armor, and I had to take it off piece by piece, that would be awesome. So, ladies, if you're listening,
Jesus Christ, you're looking at a 4-hour project before you even get.
That could be really hot. Like the slave Leia, like I don't want it. I don't like it. I've done it, been there, done that. Give me a Captain Phasma. Leave the helmet on, girl. Leave the helmet on.
I like the sound of that.
I don't know. Anything else that you can do to ruin my night?
No.
That's it. But I'll tell you right now, we've got a ton of listener email feedback and questions that I'd love to get to. So let's dig into this the Johnny Grasso journey of his love life next week, and let's get some feedback from some listeners.
Alrighty.
Let's leave it on a cliffhanger.
Here is one. This is from my man Tom. He wrote it last week, but we missed it for last episode, so we'll just do it now. Misters Grasso, Pappas, and Burkhart. Sometime between my 12th and 13th viewing of The Force Awakens, I had an idea which became a theory I'd like to share. Well, Tom, please share. When Luke first sees Rey at the end of The Force Awakens, he's not relieved or happy to see her, but pissed. Just like Leia. He felt the cosmic reverberations of Han Solo's death.
Reverberations, Johnny.
Oh, okay. I'm far away. Chill. Of Han Solo's death. And that left him with one thought. Finally, he'll get to fly the Millennium Falcon. Think about it. The closest Luke ever got to flying the Falcon was having his hand slapped away from the console like a kindergartner reaching for an extra cookie. Luke never got to fly the Falcon, but who has? Han, Chewie, Leia, Lando, and Nia Nub. Hawes' favorite. I like this email. So Luke feels Han die and thinks, jackpot! He sees the Falcon approach Ahch-To and is waiting for Chewie to make the climb up the steps with the keys to his new ship. But it's not Chewie. It's some scavenger girl who gets to add her name to the list of people who have flown the Falcon. She's the winner here, and his consolation prize? A 5th-hand lightsaber. Wow, he counted. So he's pissed at how the Force has once again screwed him out of the chance of flying the ship that should rightfully be his. Your thoughts? Congratulations on the new podcast. May the Force be with you. King Tom. Always, Tom. Always. So that was a fun email to read. We didn't read that last week?
Nope, sure didn't.
We didn't read it. Sorry about that, Tom.
Yeah, Tom, that's our bad. But we read it now, and that was a really fun email. I really appreciate it, Tom. That was a lot of fun. So what do you guys think? Do you think there's any validity to that, or just a kind of a satirical little piece of comedy Tom threw our way?
I think you got it. Yeah, I think that would be like me being stoked if my brother-in-law died so I could drive his sweet-ass truck.
Nice.
Seems kind of fucked up, right?
Yeah. All right, let's go to the next one. This is from Steve. Hi, guys. I'm just getting into listening to podcasts, and I have to say, stumbling upon this podcast at its birth was a real treat. Oh, thanks, man. All three of you guys are fun to listen to. Well, we try. Slight problem, though, Johnny. What's the deal with your utter disdain for anything Star Wars that's not on TV? That smacks of some lazy fandom right there, but I suffer from a little of that, too. Well, I may have the medicine for you. Star Wars audiobooks. They are awesome. I do a lot of driving, so audiobooks has been my main avenue of Star Wars consumption away from the TV. Do it, bro. Don't let canon material go unconsumed and become an uninformed prick. Well, I would like to be an informed prick. That's my goal. I don't think I would have gotten through Aftermath in my lifetime if I had to physically read it. Thank you, Steve. Thank you. taking my shot at my dude without even meaning to. That's my man, Steve. Keep up the good work, guys. Steve, we're going to try. And that is from Steve, who was born and raised in Boston, mountained up and moved to San Diego. And his Twitter is, I know Steve Max79. It's all coming together. And he is admin of the Alliance of Star Wars Fanatics. All right, so Steve, to answer that question, Mike Pappas is kind of our business manager of Rogue One podcast, and right now he is working out a deal. And if he nails this deal, I'm not going to say with what company yet because Mike's still, in heavy negotiations, but there's a chance that I might be taking your advice and change my ways.
I've hit him a bunch of times when on my train. I have a pretty long commute into Manhattan from Queens. It's about 35 to 45 minutes door to door, and I've listened to several books over my headset. I stream them right from my iPhone, and I got through Darth Plagueis that way. I've got through 2 other books previously that are kind of non-canon, but it's a great way to do it, Johnny. It's actually a good idea for you. I know, I know between your womanizing and whatever else you do at the gym all day or whatever. It could be good. So you don't have the attention span to sit down and read a book. It's a great way to do it. It's not just for those reasons. It's also for people who don't have a lot of time to sit down and they're on the go. It's a great way to do it. Hawes, have you dipped into the audiobook stuff?
I've never listened to a Star Wars audiobook. I listened to one of the George R. R. Martin, Game of Thrones books on audio. But it's not something I'm against. I should give it a try. It would help me clear out some of my backlog of unread books.
I think what we should do that would benefit Rogue One, a Star Wars podcast for winners, is we get Mr. Grasso an audio version of Bloodline when it drops next month, and we let him roll through it, and we hear his thoughts.
You know what? I am going to agree with you, but let's hold off. If you get that thing that we talked about, then I'll break my reading audiobook virginity with that company. You know what I'm saying?
Fair enough.
That way it'll mean something. Like I can give them that extra boost.
You got it. Sounds good.
Can you read the next one from Vader Nick?
Yep.
Buckle
Vader
in,
Nick here
guys.
again. What's up, Vader Nick? What an epic start, gentlemen. The best first podcast of all podcasts. I mean that. Thank you, Nick. We appreciate that. One problem. Johnny Grasso, Mr. Too Cool to Read, yeah, you. I'm calling you out on your BS on your own podcast, and if we're really brosheks, you'll read it anyway. Or have one of the 2 better hosts read it for you. Ha ha. I kid, but I digress. Yes, me, Vader Nick, I digress on Johnny friggin' Grasso's own podcast. Deal with it. Hawes, Mike, hello, how are you? Good? Sit back and relax for a minute. Vader Nick's got this one. Oh boy, this is going to be long, boys. Last week, the almighty Mr. Personality asked you both what he needs to know from the new canon books. I guess because he's so tired from reading all those phone numbers from chicks, because they clearly dig him. Oh, Nick, you're great. The answer to this question is none of it. Absolutely none of it. To enjoy the movies to the fullest, you don't need any of it. Especially if don't care what Johnny has to say about all the intel you gave him last week. But if you want to add to the movies and TV shows, continue on. Johnny, if you can't find the reason to quite get into Rebels, you hater, even though helicopter lightsabers are the dumbest thing in Star Wars since Greedo shot first, maybe reading a book about how that whole story came together and getting a much more in-depth look at the character Kanan in A New Dawn would help invest you more into Rebels. Oh, what's that you want? Something a little more movie-centric? You like bad guys? You thought Tarkin rocked his shit in A New Hope, and you want to know more about this old man holding Vader's leash, where he came from? Why is he held in such regard? Yeah, they got a book for that. It's called Tarkin. Oh no, Luke was more your guy? You like that pretty boy thing? You can relate, Johnny Grasso? You want to know what it was like for Luke to be a bumbling teenager with the Force and his struggle to grasp the concept of using it to his benefit, all while on his journey where he comes across a weird lightsaber with 3 kyber crystals in it, just like the one we see in a certain movie released last December. Heir to the Jedi is that book. Oh, the more I go on, the more the hatred builds inside you. The more in a dark side mood now. Excuse me, you're more in a dark side mood now. Hearing more about how Vader started to become one with his new mechanical body and new dark side powers, all while hunting down Cham Syndulla, Hera's dad from Rebels, with Darth Sidious at his side. Sounds like something every Star Wars fan would want to read, right? Right? It's called Lords of the Sith, my friend. But Vader Nick, I just watched the Clone Wars and I really loved it, but it left a lot of cool story arcs unfinished. There was this really badass female villain that I'd like to hear more about, and a lesser known Jedi that my good buddy Sal from Making Star Wars portrays to a T. Not to mention Dooku and Night Sisters. They were pretty cool too, right? Well, Johnny, they got a book for that too, and a damn good one. Dark Disciple. Up to this point, in the new canon, it was the best read yet. I'll come back to that in a minute. Vader Nick, you're boring me with all this reading I'm having to do, or listening I'm having to do because I made Mike or Hawes read it. What do I need to just enjoy the movies going forward? Vader Nick, why do you keep bringing up old shit? I want to know more about the lead up to The Force Awakens, what kind of state the galaxy's in, the who, the what, the where, the why, and when are these characters we all just met is, and where are they? I got two for you, Johnny G. Aftermath and Before the Awakening. The former all you need to know to want to read it. It is Interludes and Mr. Bones, the baddest custom personal defense battle droid in the entire galaxy. Who belongs to Snap Wexley? Yeah, that Snap Wexley. The one that flew the reconnaissance mission for Starkiller Base for the Resistance in The Force Awakens, buddy. And the later, Before the Awakening, gives you lead backup stories for Finn, Poe, Rey, etc., etc. Need I say more? I'm a little more like my good buddy Hawes, though, Vader. I'm a little more like my good buddy Hawes, though, Vader Nick. I have a strange affliction for background characters with really cool looks. Well, you're in luck, my man. There were short stories put out, one about Captain Ithano? Johnny, what is that? What's the guy you like, the Crimson Corsair?
Captain
Ithano. In the Crimson Corsair and the Lost Treasure of Count Dooku. How about that badass female assassin sitting on Grumgar's lap in Maz's castle? She looked cool, right? Knew you were going to say that. She's got a book, Johnny. It's called The Perfect Weapon. Vader Nick, I got these two really cool-looking action figures called Sarko Plank and Constable Zuvio. I never saw them in The Force Awakens, but I got action figures? What's their story? Books, Johnny, books. Each got their own. Sarko in Weapon of a Jedi, where Luke visits one of the first Jedi temples. Sound familiar? And Zuvio in High Noon on Jakku. Last but certainly not least on this long-winded essay of a rant of an email to your most excellent podcast is Lost Stars. This book, man, this book. This is the book for new canon. And at this point, I'm going to hope that after all this time and effort I put into this, that number one, you at least read this on air, and number two, you have at least considered giving books a chance, especially since it's sounding like you might be memorizing the latest chick's number in your phone and maybe settling down a bit at some point. You'll have less numbers to read and can stomach a book or two. I'm not going to tell you jack shit about this book and desperately want you to read it. It might not only be my favorite new canon book, but quite possibly is my favorite Star Wars book of all time. With all that said, I'm still your biggest fan and will continue to support all you guys do. I got your back in the division always, buddy. Vader Nick. P.S. Only fitting for Grasso hosted a podcast and I had a P.S. I got a name for the email section. Rogue Winner Write-ins. Let me know what you think. Now back to my meditation chamber. Vader Nick. Wow.
Damn. Johnny, does Vader Nick work for Del Rey and just never told us? Because if he doesn't, he should. Like, Del Rey, if you hear this, give our boy Vader Nick a job. He could be on Star Wars infomercials for books.
Nick, that was incredible, buddy. Johnny, thoughts?
I don't even know where to begin. Nick, thank you for all right. I see what he did. He tied relevance to each novel. Okay, I get it. He tied relevance to each novel. It's about fleshing out the characters. You know, it's about digging deeper. Kanan, Snap, Tarkin, right? So flesh them out, get their backstory. I get it. I understand. I just, there's still words, and you still got to read them, and it takes longer than 90 minutes to read a book. So I'm considering it, but you haven't swayed me yet. And please don't try again. And if you do, keep it under 250 words or less.
Nick, keep those emails coming, man. Keep them coming. That was great. Let's just keep trolling Johnny till he starts reading.
I now know how Randy feels, and I didn't even read it. All right, Hawes, you want to do Maverick Outlaw?
Yeah, sure. I'm pulling it up right now. Cues for Grasso show. Hi there, winners or whiners of the show. I have a few cues. 0. Why the fuck number it 0? You could just start at 1. I sent this by Twee for episode 1, but JG forgot. Why
That's
is
true.
this yet another Sausage Fest podcast? Is it that hard to find girls that want to talk about SWs with you guys? Guiz? Jesus
Oh my
Christ.
God. Oh my
Jesus
God.
Christ.
Well, to answer number 0, we basically, I don't know. Mike asked me to do a podcast. He's a guy. He asked me. I'm a dude. We wanted to bring on one of the most talented podcast hosts / engineers / editors in the business, and he just happened to be a guy.
And Randy said no.
And, we weren't really trying to get an all-guy podcast. However, we have 103 guests lined up, and I believe 6 out of the first 10 are all women. And I've already reached out to them, and I've hinted at them that I was going to be begging them to be on the podcast soon. So we're going to have a lot of women as guests. We're going to have Julia. We're going to have Cat. We're going to have Amanda Ward. I'll have to beg her. The podcast princess, Jonna Marie Macias. I'll have to beg her. Tracy Gardner. I'll have to beg her. But yeah, I have some connections in the SW podcast world that I'm going to reach out to. Plus, Jessie is Hawes's fiance. She's actually the first female ever on the Rogue One podcast. She made her debut on episode 2 in the But I Digress section, and I'm sure she's going to be popping in here and there. So yeah, we're gonna get some women in there a lot more often. Dude, come on, really? Like, who loves women more than I do?
So
it's just ironic that Jesse visited us tonight on the podcast
right?
too, when
right
when Maverick is trying to make a point. Yep.
Next up, and she's only valid answer if real Grosso calls into show, because fake Grosso will of course say only one thing about this: OMG, OMG, OMG. Which Grosso has the bigger dick?
Randy.
They're the same person, so I think it's exactly the same length down to the centimeter.
We'll give it to Randy for the
sake of argument.
I think Johnny has a bigger dick than Carl from Aqua Teen.
Tonight. If both Grossos win after the same chick, who would win and why? If answer is team up and do a threesome, that is allowed, but only if both say it at the same time without hesitation.
I have no comment.
If both Grossos went after the same chick, who would win and why? It depends what the girl's looking for. Like Randy is very talented. Like, he's a musician. He can play the piano, guitar. He's got a great singing voice. If the girl likes, muscles and blue eyes, then maybe I got a shot. It depends on the girl.
Okay.
But for the sake of argument, we'll give that one to Randy too.
All right. For the rewrite something section, how about The Force Awakens? All of it. To make it not only a rehash of A New Hope. Fuck off.
Right, well,
in the fuck that guy section, how about who...
Dude.
Well, I'm reading... Okay,
Dude,
yeah.
No, I'm talking to Maverick. I'm
Okay.
talking to Maverick. I'm not talking to you, Hawes. I apologize.
It just says, in the fuck that guy segment, how about whomever the fuck greenlit the Rebel show as it is? Hashtag make good Star Wars or go fuck yourself.
Who did greenlight? I guess Disney did.
Yeah, probably. Best of lucks with the show, Grosso, and 3 hearts to everyone involved in this cast, and great to see good old faux Johnny G living his dream of having people listen to him talking about Star Wars. Hashtag girl power. Sorry, but I am a devoted Rebel Girl fanboy, and typically only write into their show, so I might not to get to write in too often. Well, that's all right.
Did Maverick Outlaw just call herself a fanboy?
Yes.
She did.
Interesting. All right. Well, Mav, thank you so much for your email. I told you I would answer anything. So there you go. Hey, this is from Raymond. Hey, fellas. So after watching The Force Awakens twice yesterday, and I've had some more time to absorb the film in a couple of scenes. While I had suspicions before, I am now convinced without a doubt that Rey is a Skywalker and that she recognized Leia and Leia recognized her at the end of the movie when she gets off the Falcon when bringing Finn's body to the Resistance base. Check out the scene carefully. Now, instead of Chewie, who lost his friend to whom who he also owed a life debt, greeting Leia, who lost her ex-husband despite their mutual history, JJ chose to have Rey greet Leia. Now, in the movie, this is the first time they met, and yet it seems Rey clearly recognizes Leia and vice versa. Some may say they were mourning Han, but for me, that hug and their facial expressions were too intense, more so on Rey's behalf. To me, it seems as if she found who she was looking for all these years. I think that Leia dropped her on Tatooine, watched over by Lor San Tekka, similar to how Obi-Wan watched over Anakin from a distance. Why she end up there? Well, clearly the chick has some fighting ability. I think Luke was training her and other Jedi until Kylo and the other Knights of Ren rebelled and slaughtered them all but Rey, who he rescued as seen in her Force vision. The only thing I struggle with is her parentage. I think by the time she was born, she seems a few years younger than Kylo, maybe 6 or 7. And so by this time, Leia and Han were probably separated, if that was when Kylo was seduced by Snoke, maybe in his mid to late teens, which would put Rey at the age we saw her in the vision when she was dropped off. I definitely agree with that. I also think it was Kylo who wiped her memory. All right. All this is to say that Rey could be Leia's daughter, conceived perhaps at the end of her and Han's marriage, possible, and then also sent to Luke for training. Since this was post their marriage, it's very likely that Han and Chewie didn't even know about her birth since Leia was off being a general and fighting the Resistance. Okay, I guess. This would also explain why Rey felt a fatherly connection to Han. All right, I get that. I do not believe that Luke would have betrayed the Jedi way and had a daughter like the way Anakin did. So for me, that theory does not work. Thoughts? Well, let me just take that last part first, because I think I agreed with like everything you said, Raymond. But that last part, you know, I was with, or not I. We watched Luke and Yoda on Dagobah. He never really said like don't get married. You know what I mean? Like when they were doing the Jedi training, it was kind of like speed boot camp because he was getting ready to fight Vader like very soon. So there's a chance that Luke never got the whole you got to be more of a priest than like a playboy.
I dig that.
Does that make sense?
Okay, so let's just play devil's advocate with Johnny's thoughts there. Luke does a ton of his own training for 30 years now. There's holocrons, there's temples, there's scriptures, there's writings, there's whatever the hell you want to call it. It is possible that he was influenced by the old Jedi Order in numerous ways. Also, we don't know what you see where I'm going with this. We don't really know. I think there's so much holes left unanswered, stories to be told, that it's kind of hard to say if he is followed more of the rebellious last Jedi in the galaxy, trained himself after Yoda, or if he literally went back and found the old ways of the Order and tried to mirror that again when he tried to build his new temple.
Solid.
We don't know, right?
It's like each theory has its sustainability. Like anything can happen. I think they left it open. I definitely agree with Ray that when Leia and Rey meet, it's way too familiar. Like I agree with them.
Is that the Force though? Is it the familiarization of the Force together connecting, or is it a physical mother-daughter connection? And I don't think anyone's going to know. We can literally, like every other podcast, spend 4 hours on this, and when it comes up, we can't stop talking about it. I can't. My whole thing was that like Han would know that was his daughter on the Falcon, and he didn't really even make a gesture or an emotion to Chewie or anything that he finally saw her. To Rey's point, it's that Han never even knew he had a daughter, and Leia's keeping that a secret from him for obvious reasons because of what happened to their older son. But when the two of them connect, it's either the Force or it's either a mother-daughter connection. I don't think we're going to know for a while. But so if that's the case, and it was made known by the time Rey comes back to base, then when Rey goes out with Chewie and R2 to go find Luke, she already knows that Han and Leia are her parents, obviously. And that throws a whole other dynamic into her going to meet her uncle then, if it is her uncle. Great thoughts, Rey. Great thoughts.
Yeah. It's you can't disprove anything, nor can you prove anything. And I think they did that on purpose. They left it very open.
I think Hawes doesn't even want to touch this subject.
Just because, like,
doesn't want to touch it.
The Rey speculation, like, I understand that that's going to be the main subject of a lot of Star Wars conversations until we get a definitive answer on that. But at this point, like, I just don't think we have enough pieces of the puzzle to make a definitive statement. You know what I'm saying?
Everything's an option.
Yeah. And I almost wonder if maybe they, when they were writing 7, they were like, we'll decide. We'll make a final decision by the time we need to make a final decision.
Yeah, there's a lot of that going around in Star Wars lately, huh? All right, you want to move on to the... I'll do this one. I'll do 2 in a row. Oh, wait, who did the last one? Oh, yeah, I'll do 2 in a row, because this is from Lauren. Lauren, we are going to cut your email short, but I will summarize it for you. So it starts off, Johnny, Mike, and Hawes. First off, I love the new podcast. Thank you, Lauren.
Thank you.
It kept me laughing at work on Friday, especially the dude, fuck that guy segment, which leads me to the reason I wrote in. See the end of the email, you also did a segment to inspire me to write this as well. I actually got referred to listen to Blue Harvest podcast, that's a great podcast, by a guy I connected with on Tinder. The guy I connected with seems like a really nice guy. Now, if you read this on the podcast any further, I would like to remain extremely anonymous. Okay, so we just use your first name. There's thousands of Laurens in the world. But I will say this. She's not happy with you, bud.
Not at all.
I will not go into detail, but basically, if Lauren had the opportunity to write the segment, dude, fuck that guy, she would write it probably 13 episodes about this person. And she goes into great detail about dude, fuck that guy.
It's just weird to me that I started Blue Harvest with my best friend Will, and there's like some dude like flipping through trolling for chicks on Tinder while listening to our podcast and being like, you know what? I'm going to recommend this podcast to the next girl I meet off of Tinder.
I want to know how he heard of Blue Harvest.
Right?
I wonder if he heard it from if he tripped over it on iTunes, or if he heard it from Now This Is Podcasting. We got to do that type of research.
Must be done.
Yeah. Hey, fella, anonymous fella, Tinder fella, if you're listening to this podcast, and I hope you are, I hope you came over from Blue Harvest, tell us how you found Blue Harvest, you Tinder bastard. I don't know. What do you call Tinder people? Tinder's
He's
after
a tenderizer.
My time. He's a tenderizer.
All right. She ended the email with, fuck that guy and every other asshole who treats a girl like that. Okay, I agree, Lauren. Keep on winning, guys. I always do. And she signed off with, guys dig me. I love it. I love it. All right. Who wants the next one?
Mike.
I got it. Yep. So we've got one from Konstantin Germanakos again. Con seems to be a resident listener. That's awesome. Very short. Hey, guys. Quick question.
You're a douche. You skipped 2 emails to read the one-line email.
Actually, you want me to read the longer one? I'll read the longer one.
No, I'm busting chops.
I just like this topic, and I know you're going to love it. Is Maul the resident villain of Rebels now? I guess he means, is he coming back for Season 3?
I think 100% he's coming back for Season 3, and I do think that Maul will be pulling Ezra to the dark side throughout the Season 3. I don't know if he's going to be in every episode, but I think, like, his presence will be felt in almost every episode. So whenever Ezra flirts with the dark side, you'll kind of like hear Duel of Fates or refer to Maul somehow visually, or he'll be there or what have you, or by name.
Yeah.
What about you guys?
Yeah, I think he's gonna have a role and have a presence in season 3. I just don't know to what extent, honestly. At this point, I don't really know.
I've got some real fanboy theories. I don't even know if I should bring it up, but
Shoot.
I think we're going to see Ben Kenobi, and I think the Rebel Alliance is going to call to Ben Kenobi, and I think he's going to take care of his arch nemesis in Rebels, not in a film. And the reason that is the point I made last week, is that for marketing purposes alone, they're not going to put Maul in another live-action film because they killed him off in Episode 1. And for people who just are mainstream watchers and just go to seeing Star Wars just to go to the movies and just to be part of the experience, they're not going to understand that, and they're going to be like, "This is ridiculous." So you brought Maul back in the animated universe. You got to kill him off in the animated universe, and Obi-Wan's the one that's got to do it. And he's the only character that they can really any shock value for showing new beloved characters that we love that's still alive, and we know is a very good possibility we'll see.
Mike, I love you, buddy, but I think you're crazy.
I knew it was very fanboyish. I knew I was going to hear it, but
look, okay. So you're telling me at some point before A New Hope, the rebellion went to Obi-Wan and were like, "Hey, we need you to help take care of Darth Maul," but that's it. That's the last thing we need from you. And then, like, 3 or 4 years later, they're like, "Oh shit, we got to go get that old guy again."
I'm not saying that. I'm saying maybe Leia connects with him and Maul's on someone's tail and he winds up on Tatooine, or Obi-Wan. Look, we just talked about Obi-Wan being in films and having an adventure between 3 and 4, and the possibility that can actually happen. It's the same idea. I'm not saying they're going to Bale's going to hit him up one time and say, "Come kill this guy." It's going to be something where he's not going to want to be involved. He won't want to be involved. Something's going to happen where he needs to get rid of this guy. Maybe it's to keep Luke's secrecy still, or someone tracks him down and Maul follows them. Look, this is very, very fan fiction, but that's what I'd love to see. I'd love to see that. You had Lando come in, you had Leia come in, you've got the droids, you've got these cameos. Why not have the best cameo as a grand finale in the last season of Rebels? Why not? Fuck it.
I mean,
it's a way to go. It's a way to go.
It's a way to go.
All right. The last email is actually part 2 from Richard. Richard had a submission for if I wrote it, and he's referring to Rebels again. If I had written it, Richard said, instead of Ahsoka running away, you would have seen her limp hand laying dead on the ground next to a saber as Vader walked out. Boom. But now you prolonged Ahsoka into the unbelievable, and you've made Darth Vader look like a fucking Dr. Claw? Is that someone in fiction? Dr. Claw? Is that somebody?
I believe Dr. Claw is from Inspector Gadget.
Oh,
no?
I think I think you're right. I think that is who Dr. Claw is.
Yeah.
And then Richard went on, had he killed Ahsoka, think of the ramifications throughout the saga. 1, he truly is evil. And scary. And not the dancing Darth Vader from Disney World. That's the second time I've heard that. 2, Luke's redemption of his father would have been much more impactful. Okay. So, F you, Dave, you blew it. And that's, again, Richie from Boston.
Well, there you go.
And does that wrap up our emails?
I think it does.
All right,
Yep.
so just a reminder, that was a mountain of emails today. Thank you, everyone, for writing in. We really appreciate it. Vader Nick, we're going to put a limitation on yours. Please, only 250-word essays from you from now on. That was exhausting, and I didn't even read it. No, I love you, buddy. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Okay, so Vader Nick did remind us there is a contest going on. He put his submission in, but it's still open. What do we call the listener email segment? What do we call it? Keep sending in your ideas, and we will pick one eventually.
Chewie, get us out of here!
And our last segment of the day, PSSSSS. All right, so we have a rogue winner. First, we mentioned it. Josiah was selected randomly. He was one of the first 10 podcast reviews on iTunes, and he won the first Smuggler's Bounty box. It is a complete box. It is sold out, and that is being shipped to Josiah's house. Congratulations. But if you didn't win, don't worry. You can still win. So please enter, because 11 through 20, we will randomly select number 11, someone from 11 through 20, and you will get the Jeremy Bulloch autographed Boba Fett pop number 8, which is a huge gift. So hurry up and get that in. But if you miss out on that one, it's okay, because guess what? 21 through 30 or 21 through 29, whoever you want to say it, we're going to give something else away. Maybe another Smuggler's Bounty box, maybe something else. We don't know yet. But we love giving stuff away. So for every 10 iTunes reviews, you can win. 1 out of every 10 wins. Our rogue winner for today. What listener? Who wrote in that really stood out? You guys, any I picked it last week, so I don't want to pick it again. What do you guys think? Who stuck out to you?
Well, look, Vader Nick had the longest email, and he made some good points. Threw some shots at Johnny, which wasn't I like.
Let's say Vader Nick is the rogue winner simply because of amount of effort that it took to write damn near a full novel for us to read on air. Like he's writing to us about novels in the form of his own novel.
Yeah, Nick, you got it, buddy. Congratulations,
all right,
man. Keep writing.
Our rogue winner for episode 2 is Vader Nick. Good job, buddy. Nice job. All right, so once again, that is our show. You can follow us on Twitter at Rogue1Pod, at Rogue1Pod, and remember, 1 is spelt with a W. We are on Facebook. Mike, what's the Facebook page?
Facebook page is Rogue One: a Star Wars podcast for winners.
Okay. You can follow me on Twitter, Johnny_Grasso14. Grasso spelled Grasso14. Hawes?
You can hear me every week on Blue Harvest Podcast, and you can follow me on Twitter at Blue Harvest Pod.
And Mikey?
You can find me at Maximum Paps, Paps, on Twitter. And you guys should check out Ranker.com, which is a website I participate in daily. That's what I do for work. That's how I pay for all my Star Wars addictions. And that's it.
Awesome. And Bonkersaurus Rex, if you're listening, thank you so much for mentioning me and speaking so highly of me in your review to Now This Is Podcasting. Someone brought it to my attention, and I wanted to publicly thank you. That is awesome. I hope you're a Rogue One listener. We would love to have you as a listener, and please write in and rate and review on iTunes as well. Thank you. And the podcast network. We got to talk about the podcast network. We are part of the Making Star Wars podcast network. We are the newest show, but we are not the only show. Give me time. No, I'm just kidding. Mondays, you have the flagship. Now, This Is Podcasting with Jason Ward, Rainy Lagudice, Saf Banner, Sal Perales, and Max Pallas, who we talked about earlier today. Tuesdays, you have Steel Wars with Steel Saunders. Basically a one-man podcast, comedian, funny as shit, has frequent guests on to keep it fresh. Usually does live podcasts with an audience, like when he's doing, I'm assuming he kind of fits it into his stand-up routine, I guess. But it's really a great listen. He came up with the pogo stick. After the Rebels helicopter lightsabers, came up with the pogo stick lightsaber.
My man.
Yeah. I stole that Steel. I didn't steal it and put it on a podcast, but like I was with these chicks and I wanted to impress them, and I was like, yeah, they were like, what's next? Pogo sticks? They were laughing and shit, and I was like, yeah, that's mine.
Steel's got to come hang out with us one night.
Who, Steel?
Yeah, he's got to come on Rogue One.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Bring him on. Let's go.
He's on the list. Hawes, he's one of the sorry, Will Witten. He's one of the 103 before Will, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's Tuesdays. Wednesdays is the Cantina cast with Mike and Joa. Thursdays, we'll call him our roommate. Our roommate is Idiots Array. We share Thursdays with him with Alan Zog, Mark Sutter, and Ryder Waldron. Then obviously there's us. Friday, a Rebel Girl with Tracy Gardner and Amanda Ward. Saturday, the Force Cult with Ryan and Travis and Jordy White and the Geek Girl Diva. Wow, I messed that up like 5 times. Geek Girl Diva. And last but not least, Corey and the First Order Transmissions.
Nice.
All right, Hawes, take us out.
We've got to give him more time.
All right, that's it for now. We're going to take a little break and then we'll come back and do some more streaming. We're going for 6 hours. Looks like we are hitting that 3 hour point, so we'll stream somewhere around 3 more hours a little bit later.